mean, it looks like it's like this for pretty much everything. Nope, that's not what we're streaming. Sorry to anyone who is watching right now. I doubt anyone's watching right now because we are experiencing some technical difficulties, but we're trying to get it fixed here. Just give me 1 second. I am doing my best. I'm trying to optimize as we go here. Like, I like streaming, but if I can't do it, that's, you know, kind of an issue, right? Raises a bit of an issue. It's a bit of an issue. Dude. Oh, man. Honestly, I just have to wait it out. That's all I can do. I can just wait. Can't do anything else. Stop. No. Hey, main event, what's up? Let me know how the stream looks for you, because it's looking pretty janky for me, unfortunately, right now. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. We're up to 4240 kbps, so we're getting back up to where we were before, but we're supposed to be streaming at like 6500 bps, kbps. And it ruined my first, you know, the initial little drive of not engagement, little drive that you get of visibility, like right when things start. Messed that up for me, unfortunately. I'm just trying to, before I actually begin anything in earnest, I'm trying to just wait out the bit rate until it stabilizes. We're at 24, we're at 32, 37, back down to 28, up to 29. Just got to get to a point where it's actually like not buffering anymore. Because it's showing like well over a minute into the past. I just don't know how to fix this. One of the problems that I saw that can lead to this error, where it says that YouTube's not receiving enough data to like stable to have stable video or whatever. Whenever it gives you that error, I read one time that it can have to do with the stream URL. Like if the stream URL is doubled up, then it can mess with the I don't know, some part of the streaming thing. Yeah. I mean, let me know when things look stable again, and I'll we'll continue on. But what's the point in doing any of this if no one's gonna see it? Although that's kind of that's sort of the beauty of my channel, right? Is that no one really ever sees it. That's why I can just kind of do whatever I want. Well, it's the perfect opportunity for me to clean my glasses and for me to say, hey, what's up? What's up? You know, how you guys doing? How y'all doing? I think that the only stream that I'm probably stable on right now is the Twitch stream. Let's see. Let's find out if we're buffering over there too. Nope, looks fine over on Twitch. It's just YouTube. So yeah, I mean, if you want to go over to Twitch, I would really appreciate it. There's no one over there right now. Nope, wait, there's one person watching. Oh my gosh. I had like a dog hair in my throat or something that like went down while I was breathing in. Something, it just like, I got the most insane tickle in my throat and then it forced me to cough. We're getting back up into KBPS. We're getting back up, which is good to see. We're finally starting to stabilize again. Just give it a couple more minutes. I promise it will be fine. It does this sometimes. YouTube can be pretty finicky. Which, if you're on YouTube right now, you're not even hearing me say this. Or you will, it just might be like 5 minutes from now. But I see we're getting up there again. 12048, 8384. It is solid now? Okay, good. 744. Yeah, we're getting back up there again. It was just taking a bit to stabilize. Well, welcome. Thank you, main event, for sticking around. I appreciate it. Now back to my main event. Does that make sense? You guys can see I'm wearing my NASA hat today, and that says only one thing. Although, hang on, it's backwards on the view here. Let me flip myself. There we go. Okay, so now you can see I am wearing a NASA hat, and today that means that we're talking about governmental agencies that often lie to people. I'm kidding. NASA doesn't lie to people. But you know what? There's been a cover-up. All right? There's been a pretty big cover-up over the years. And if you've been around in any circles whatsoever in terms of the YouTubosphere, then you know about the cover-ups. All right? You know that they've had yet to engage in any kind of good faith disclosures. But here we are. Here we are. We're on Face the Nation. We're on Fox News. We're on all the mainstream media outlets, and we're talking about UFOs. Or sorry, we're talking about UAPs. All right? Unidentified aristocratic PDF files? No, sorry, that's a different stream. We're talking about flying saucers. That's right, aliens. And no, not the aliens that ICE is actively hunting down and killing our citizens just to deport. So no, we're talking about actual outer space aliens, although I watched a recent podcast that said that maybe they're not from outer space at all. Actually, we could probably watch that if you'd like. Well, thank you, Helmet. I appreciate it. I have been keeping a very close eye on the lagginess of the stream, but I think we're starting to stabilize. We just hit 9444 kbps. How many kbps's do you think we should aim for? So, I mean, I haven't had a chance really to even look at the news in terms of UAP. I've been just kind of doing my own thing. I've been paying attention to my own shitty life. I'm kidding, it's not shitty. I've been paying attention to my own mundane life. That's a better way to say it. Mundane. Mundanity aside, I usually keep track of this kind of stuff. I usually keep track of like when you know, government disclosures happening regarding big conspiracy theories, but I think this one kind of like flew under my radar. So, but here we are, okay? I'm going to watch the initial news stories. I'm going to react in real time. This is the first that you're ever seeing of me even paying attention whatsoever to anything regarding UAP disclosure. So we're going to experience all of this as if it is for the first time, because for me it will be. All right? So first I'm going to take a look at Fox News, which is here. Okay. So Dave Grush, not Dave Grush. Who is it? No, it's Dave Grush. Yeah. Okay. So he's the guy that's been kind of like, sort of championing this thing. Jeremy Corbell, to a certain extent, has been sort of the mouthpiece of the UFO documentary community. And then Dave Grush has been kind of the guy in the Pentagon, or from the Pentagon, like DOD or whatever kind of shit his credentials are, has been the one who is kind of like trying to get this stuff released and trying to get disclosure out there. Oh, millions will eventually see your content. God damn, I hope so. That'd be cool. You know? The world is waking up to this, or this is needed content. Well, I don't know about that, but I certainly enjoy doing it. I'm about to check out the horizontal. I think I found the hype button. Is there one? Is there actually one? I would be surprised, but I guess pleasantly so. Didn't think that was a thing. Oh, it might be on just like videos and not live streams. That could be it. That might have been what I was missing. Because I just looked at my live stream, not the actual, like any of the videos that I posted.
David Grush is a former U.S. Air Force officer, an intelligence official, whistleblower, and special advisor to Missouri Republican Representative Eric Burleson, who has helped lead the push for disclosure. He joins us tonight. Welcome back to Special Report, David. I want to get your sense of this release today.
He looks like he's been doing some, he looks like he's been doing some Ozempic or something.
What you make of it, what you think is coming, what's next?
I can barely hear
yes,
it.
But we should acknowledge this first tranche is certainly historically significant. The president is following through on his promises.
Is it good for you guys? Can you
hear
hear
Some of the information in this tranche certainly will be historically significant. Some will be attributed as prosaic natural phenomenon. And
why is the video like, or why is the quality like this?
I believe further documents will reveal a lot of the other information that.
So that's the coronal, that's the coronal, like the light anomaly that people are looking at. And I think the prevailing knowledge on that is, I mean, I didn't hear nothing about this stuff. I did hear some scant stuff, but what it seems to be for the community is like a UV reflection or a drone or something. You know, it is as of yet unidentified, but it's not something that we've all acknowledged is some alien craft that is like coming down from there. What we're going to do once we see these news stories is we're going to say, okay, what are people on the ground saying about it? And then we're going to switch over to TikTok and we're going to see some like individual takes. I've already looked at a lot of the individual takes, and it's pretty crazy. And I mean crazy like cuckoo nuts crazy, not crazy like, wow, that's wild. No, I mean like, these people are crazy. But they're saying everything from it's a chaos star to it is the same ship that sent Superman to Earth in the old Superman movies, on up to it's just a drone, it's here, it's maybe there's some like anomaly from time traveling. I have seen a lot of different takes on this, and the most sensical one that I saw was like, oh yeah, honestly, like there was like an avionics expert here, this really is just the like the prismatic coronal thing that comes off of like when a UV shines into the lens of something else. And then to me that makes a lot of sense, but I'm not an avionics type guy. I don't know the ins and outs scientifically of these things. I'm just here to learn. I'm here to learn from Fox News. Okay, I'm just here to learn something that Fox News is going to teach me. Okay, guys? All right? Let's learn something from Fox News.
Further documents will reveal a lot of the other information that I got access to in terms of foreign intelligence on adversarial UAP programs.
So that's been his whole thing for this entire multi-decades campaign that he's launched against things like the Pentagon and the government. Ken Ham, I believe, is another sort of big name in this whole disclosure movement. He's, I believe, either a congressman or a senator. He's in the government, and he leads committees where the first, I think, disclosure committee hearing thing was, I believe, Ken Ham that led that. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that, but there's like 2 governors that are very for disclosure. The problem, just call me Pingas. You can call me Pingas if you want. It's Pingas Grandes. Multiple? There's multiple. Just call me multiple Pingas Grandes. Yo tengo multi Pingas Grandes. Okay? Y estoy negro de dentro de mis pantalones. Okay? Up, doggo. What's up, doggo? You can't just come into a random live stream and expect that people don't speak Spanish. 1/4 of me is fluent in it. The other 3 would have colonized that 1/4 of me, which is probably how it became 1/4 of me. If I'm completely honest. Vive la raza! We should just have an El Streamo en Español.
And certain U.S. operations. However, that security declassification
it wouldn't be
is
accurate.
quite complex, and I would expect
It wouldn't
some
be good.
delays. But I certainly
You wouldn't be able to
fully
understand me.
support Trump's White House
But it would be
team
fun.
on this declassification, and we should definitely applaud the president for following through. But do know that there's going to be some agency obfuscation.
That you said adversarial UAP programs, that's talking about other countries that may have recovered craft that are trying to kind of re-engineer it
Yes.
for their own purposes. Is that what you're talking about?
And it would be easier for us to sort of hand wave away a lot of the dismissals and accusations of people being insane and wearing tinfoil hats if there was any evidence that crafts have been like non-human piloted, or they came from like another, I don't know, dimension or another planet or something like that. Even and the reason I'm saying that right now is because he's talking about adversarial aircrafts. If another country, one of our enemies, was working on a highly advanced futuristic or alien technology or something like that, we would have our spies. We don't. So that's the thing. Like, people don't trust each other. People are always like assuming that the people they're dealing with are duplicitous. I hope that that's, you know, maybe that I'm overgeneralizing, but it seems to be a pretty big pattern with just people in general, especially people in power, that they don't trust other people, like, implicitly. And maybe that's how they get to the level of power that they're at. Maybe that's how they get to the positions in government that they're in, by not trusting other people. That's not for me to decide. That's, you know, other people. Or that's people in positions better than the one that I'm in. But like, our spies are everywhere. Our spies are in every government. They're installed in every foreign adversary and even our allies. Like, there are, like, spies are everywhere, man. Like, especially since the Cold War, they're better at hiding themselves now. So if there was somebody, Goose ghosted me after a passionate night of probing. I'm not an alien. But like, if there was evidence of some highly technologically advanced thing, like something like an aircraft or a being or some either non-human whatever going on, there would have been some kind of a leak. There would have been, like, the spies would have come back and told us something about it. There would have been something. some kind of a leak, some kind of a new, like breaking news. Like they would have told a reporter, they would have told a government official, they would have told a loved one. That's why I think it's so hard for NASA to keep a bunch of secrets about like moon landing and about actual, the Artemis whatever, like rocket with, the people that are disbelieving that we actually went to the moon in the first place, let alone again. There's just so much compartmentalization that has to happen. And I know that that's the excuse a lot of people use as well. Oh, they compartmentalize it. The people that are doing it, they think that it's real. No, I don't think that's true. Kilroy King, you seem to be smart. Are you ready for some quiz questions? If I don't like the question, I won't answer it, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Although if they're about religion, man, like, you're probably just the same dude who was talking to me about it yesterday. Because that dude just did not seem to want to listen to a word I was saying. And that's not a discussion, That's more just someone talking at somebody. And I like discussions, gosh darn it. Gosh damn it, even.
Yes, sir. And there was also programs to detect and track UAP.
How far is the moon away from Earth? I have no idea. I'd have to look that up.
Very much akin to the UAP task force and other kind of outside the onion efforts over the years.
Okay, we had you on obviously in November. We did a series of reports, and thanks for coming on back then. This is what you said then about the president.
Certainly the current president is very knowledgeable on this subject, and I really believe if Trump wants to be the greatest president...
I find it hard to believe that Trump is knowledgeable on any subject, but I'm willing to take it at face value, whatever you're saying. Name 2 continents, North America, South America.
And the most consequential leader.
The 2 I happen to use as my living quarters, or I have in the past used as my living quarters.
Likely in world history, he certainly has the knowledge, the capabilities, and understanding of some of these sensitive government transparency issues.
So you think, 1, he knows, and 2, he's open to transparency on UAPs?
North America and South America aren't continents?
He certainly is very well informed on this issue. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, then Asia and Africa.
So you think he's opening up this door and knows a lot more?
Oh, yes, sir. And I actually went into that in detail recently. I did an interview with Chris Farrell on Judicial Watch, and certainly President was briefed late in his first term before COVID.
Well, if that's true, then things have changed since I was a child.
By particular,
because that was the last time I ever gave a shit.
Briefed on many of these issues, to include the crash retrieval issue. However, like I pointed out on Judicial Watch, certainly I don't think he's gotten all the information, and because of that agency's reputation, he certainly probably doesn't believe quite everything that he's been told, and I'm sure he's tasked his team in the White House to verify a lot of the other aspects.
Mysterious encounters.
There's a lot of people out today saying this doesn't advance the ball that much. I want to see the real stuff. There are a lot of documents.
I do. I also want to see the real
file,
stuff.
and one of them, just digging in here, Daily Mail first found it, but it's in the documents released by the Department of War. It's from the 1960s. It's an FBI report, which says a few witnesses have reported seeing crewmen landed.
Nope. North America and South America are both continents. I don't know why you don't think they are.
From these objects were described as 3.5 to 4 feet tall, wearing what appear to be...
The first U.S. president? Why are you asking me elementary school questions, or high school questions, junior high, I guess, 7th grade questions? Why are you asking me 7th grade questions? Neither is this an AMA, nor is it a... no, North and South America are separate continents. Nor is it a... What do you think that, like, this is some, like you're trying to gotcha me or something? I'm confused as to why you're asking these rudimentary questions.
Be spacesuits.
You clearly have a goal in mind. Can you just get to the goal?
And helmets. And that's the first reference in this tranche to actual creatures.
Okay, so I guess there's a document.
Tranche to...
No. See, look at this. A few witnesses, because most people from the USA can't answer it. That is insanely incorrect. What? Most people in the US are at least mildly intelligent. I think you need to not watch YouTube videos that describe people in America. We are majority fairly intelligent.
Tranche to
We're arguably one of the smartest countries in the world.
actual creatures, aliens, extraterrestrial. Do you know that to be true?
That is true, and certainly the U.S. government has recovered those biological materials, something I've testified to.
Okay, we're not in the top 10, but
And
we're
because of
arguably
that,
one
a lot
of
of
them.
other cabinet agencies to include,
there's too many countries for us to not
under
be in the top
RFK's leadership
20
will
at
actually have
least.
to deal with some of the document triage that has resulted from some of these programs.
Oh my god.
So what you're
I
saying
hadn't looked
is
that up until
we are on
today.
the cusp
That's
of
I
getting a lot
had just
more
assumed.
details that deal with actual alien beings, however you're going to describe.
Okay. So you're making me very sad for America right now. We're not even in the top 10 of smartest countries in the world. Oh no, America, why? We're not even in the top 20. We're not even in the top 20. Oh my god. I get, rich doesn't always have to mean smart. Nor, I don't think, are we the richest country in the world anymore, are we? Are we at least one of the richest countries? Nope. Not even one of the richest countries. Damn, since Trump took office, America has just backslid. Well, I didn't have any beliefs. I didn't believe that any of the stuff, I was just assuming. I assume, people are so insanely confident about America. They're so patriotic that, to me, because I absorb, the news a lot, because I try to stay current with events, my idea of America is so distorted, potentially from all of those opinions. I feel like we're starting at a place of recognition, a place of honor. And then, no. Man, I don't know when those changed. We were at one point the richest country in America. And at one point, we were the smartest country in the world. And people believe in Angel. People believe in Angel? You mean believing that angels are real? Is that what you mean? Because there are plenty of people who actually do believe that. So I would agree with you there. But yeah, no, I didn't really care, whether or not we were rich or the smartest countries. I just assumed that we were. I feel like people, I don't know. I feel like people had been puffing us up for the last 100 years, that it was hard to believe that it wasn't true. If anything, it makes criticisms against the U.S. more valid. So bring them on. I'm happy to hear them. I tell you, most people can't answer. I tell you, most people in the USA can't answer simple questions like continent can't answer. It's your English isn't bad. I'm trying to understand. Angel, the TV show. Welcome, Mongo. How's it going? Angel was pretty good, but it's not number one. It was a good show.
Right.
That's certainly up to the president's team, and I certainly support them. But it has come to my attention, actually, recently as of today. Team. And
Sorry, hang on. I'm trying to look at this piece of paper.
For detail.
Recently as of today, there are some actors within certain intelligence agencies, to include DIA and CIA specifically, that are actually blocking some of the
We are on the
No, here we go. Sorry. I'm trying to look for this document that he was.
So what you're saying is we are on the cusp
about.
of getting a lot more details that deal.
Hey, Choke, what's up? No, angels like in heaven. Okay. I mean, I don't believe in angels, but I know that a lot of Americans do. Predominantly the country is Christian, and more increasingly it seems fundamentally Christian. So it's getting up there. Did you watch Artemis 2? I did. I watched the takeoff and I watched the landing, but I didn't see any of the mid journey footage or anything like that. I don't really care about astronauts that much. I mostly care about the drama that's happening in the administration.
with actual...
I tend to do like advocation for marginalized peoples in my actual work, so it just kind of makes sense. It's just something that I tend to know a little bit more about, so I tend to talk about that and religion here. Or play video games. Muslims have angels and demons too. I don't know enough about the Muslim religion to know that. That's what America is, top 1 people in prison. Yeah. That I also agree with. Out of curiosity, how can something grow more fundamentally anything? Wouldn't it need to be foundational in order to exist? What? How can something grow more fundamentally anything? To me, that sentence doesn't make sense, so I would love for you to explain that in order for me to address it. But yeah, people believing in angels, I would not doubt that we are number 1 in that, because there are some crazy religious people here. The majority of the people who believe in aliens and flat Earth, and that we didn't go to the moon, and that the Illuminati is like ruling the country, those are often religious people. You said that the country was growing more fundamentally Christian. No, it is. I'm saying that it is growing more, more and more people running the government are fundamentally Christian, are fundamental Christians. They are fundamentalists. How old do you think the Earth is? Billions of years? I don't know. I think at last estimate was something like 38 billion or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. See, okay, yeah, I don't want to look it up and then be like, oh, it's this, because I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's something like 38 billion. Yeah, like, I mean fundies. I mean, like, the people who are, like, zealots. Like, the people who actually believe that, like, angels are real and demons are real and that demons are, like, abducting our children and shit, and that all the trafficking that's going on is the work of the devil and all that kind of stuff. That's what I mean by fundamentalists. So what do you believe? I don't really have a belief. I haven't really ever subscribed to any kind of religion or dogma. I believe that anything's possible. I don't know that I would ever necessarily want to follow Christianity, because there's a lot of really shitty things that that God tells you to do in the Bible. So, I mean, but with like Islam, like I don't know enough about Islam to know whether or not I would believe in Islam. Like I don't know. Same thing with like I don't know, Judaism. I don't know enough about Judaism. I know like the stuff that's in the OT, just because that's, you know, I have just learned enough about the OT to know that that's something that some Jews believe in. I don't know. I'd say I know enough about Christianity to know I don't want to be Christian. And then I know enough about religion overall that I'm not a big fan of being threatened into believing in something. But if there are religions that are out there that don't rely on that kind of stuff, like restrictive dogma, I'd be willing to check it out. But I'm not really a follower, man. I don't like following things. I like making my own path, you know? Not necessarily a leader either. I just like to be out on my own, a wandering nomad through the desert, you know? That kind of thing. So what do you think about pre-astronauts? I think you're saying pre-astronauts. The word you said is pre-astronautic, but I don't know that word. So yeah. Bad connection. Yeah, my bitrate has started to fall. My apologies. It's the same problem as before. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. It is honestly just the weather in my area. Summer, like the beginnings of summer and then like sudden rains tend to make the maintenance, or not maintenance, tend to make the internet go bad. the lines. It's not the lines. It has nothing to do with the lines. It's always like the service center, the data centers, and like the places where they keep the servers that are affected by inclement weather, like static electricity, but also like electromagnetic fields in the atmosphere, like mess up the signals that we get like through Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So, and that affects like what we receive in terms of internet accessibility. So the bitrate doesn't look terrible right now. It looks like it's in fact stabilizing, but it may get choppy, and I apologize for that. I like that you're open. That is a great thing to try and be open-minded. I mean it. Like the one question that I get a lot is about being atheist, and people are like, if you believe this and that, and I'm like, I don't believe that. Like I don't have any rigid firm beliefs other than what I've seen being proved through science, and that isn't a heck of a lot. So my mind is open, but I am also not. I know, or at least I think I'm smart enough to be able to tell whether or not videos are AI, or there's some kind of like hoax or something like that. Put the pieces together, look at the big picture, that kind of stuff. So it's easier for me to be skeptic than it is for than anything else. Yeah, no, I'm sorry if you feel like you have to go because the stream is too choppy. I appreciate that. That's fine. If you want to stick it out, it'll clear itself up in a bit. Pre-astronauts. Pre-astronauts, manned ballooning at the threshold of space. This is a book. And it doesn't say much about... I'm thinking that you mean like prehistorical astronauts. In which case I think you're talking about like aliens, like coming down and helping us form civilizations and stuff. Like those could have been our gods. Like that could have been like the sort of Gnostic origin of alien, like a theory and curiosity within burgeoning civilizations. Could have been something like that. But yeah, I don't know enough about the concept to really be able to speak on it. It's fascinating.
Beings, however you're going to describe them.
That's certainly up to the president's team, and I certainly support them, but it has come to my attention actually recently, as of today, there are some actors within certain intelligence agencies, to include DIA and CIA specifically, that are actually blocking some of the president's presidentially appointed team and getting access and getting control on some of these historical records. So I really expect the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence...
I'm going to say no. I think Trump, as well as Ken Ham and that other guy in Congress who have been pushing for disclosure, have been pushing for disclosure. They've been pretty adamant about it. Trump himself, as well as, again, everyone else who has been like a big proponent of all the disclosure that people are pushing for. They've all been pushing for it this entire time. They all want it to happen. If Trump is not going to listen to Congress when he goes and bombs Iran, if he's not going to listen to Congress when he goes and bombs Venezuela and kidnaps their leader and then leaves a vacuum of power in both places, if he's not going to listen to Congress on those things, he's not going to listen to them when it comes to UFO disclosure. He's just gonna leak the stuff if he has it like that. I don't. There's no practical reason why he would hold on to this stuff simply because what? He observes the rule of law? Trump had classified documents at his home, in his bathroom, and he's like respectful of the rule of law. He didn't show up to his arraignment. Like, I don't know if it's a judgment hearing. He didn't show up to his judgment hearing for the aggressive sexual assault of a woman, which he was found liable. He's gonna seek a third term. And I think they're setting Rubio up to take it, but you get what I'm saying here. Like, it's not like Trump really observes or respects the rule of law. So why would he keep classified UFO documents secret when he hasn't been known to really do that ever with anything? If if he knew, and especially if he knew that it was going to distract from the Epstein files, if he knew that UFO disclosure was going to make people like him, he would put every single material out there that he could. And Lord knows, I bet you he has an inkling. I bet you he might think to himself, you know what? If I please all these people who have been asking me for UFO disclosure, they might like me. I mean, most of them are fence sitters anyway, when it comes to Trump. You know, going in and out of interest for him, like, just like the seasons change. 2016, yeah. Man, it's really shitty. Or what Trump is doing, you know, he's really like, he's doing all these, like, floating all these bans, he's floating all this, you know, reduction in oversight and all this kind of stuff. Man, it's really shitty what he's doing. Man, it's great that he did a ban on Muslims. Oh man, I love that. I freaking hate brown people. You know, people just keep piling support onto him when he doesn't deserve it. What do you think of the question? I think it's a very clickbaity question. What do you think are more crazy? Hi to you as well, by the way. I think both categories have equal potential to be fucking nuts. I think the alien believers are easier to think are crazy, but a lot of them really just want some kind of proof that we're not alone in the universe. And a lot of religious people are crazy, but I think most of them really just want to live their lives in peace and you know, don't necessarily hate gay or trans or black people. You know, both have the potential. See, that's why I do the polls that I do. You know, it elicits discussion, and I even just in answering it, I get to like share, you know, stuff I know about it. It's kind of cool. That's fun. That's what I think of the question. What do you think of the question? Man, we still keep going back down into buffering. I'm sorry for the lag. I know that it makes this horrible to watch. Go over to Twitch. If the stream starts lagging for you, head over to Twitch. Hang on, trying to get this link here. There we go. Head on over to Twitch, and you can watch me there. Yeah, I apologize for any lag. It has been a very atmospherically heavy day, which is crazy because, like, the viewer count keeps going up, and then my bitrate keeps going down. I swear, this is like, it's God. It's got to be God, right? He's got to be angry at me for all this material that I'm doing. You know, I think he's exacting retribution on me. No, I'm not going to allow your community to grow. Because see, now we're back up to stable, and the viewers has dropped to 0. Right? Like, I feel like that can't be a coincidence. No, it is. I'm starting to act like these guys. You know? Starting to act exactly like
Intelligence and security, Bradley Hansel, to take care of that, as some of that's under his cognizance, especially on the national program side, which is directly under his organization, to reveal some of the historical National Security Council records on this.
Obviously, there's a lot of skepticism out there. There's a lot of people saying, I'm not sure, but we're going to see. This disclosure is important. We've covered it from the beginning. David, we appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
The Pentagon on Friday began releasing hundreds of files on UFOs after President Trump ordered the documents to be made public. The files posted on the Pentagon's newest UFO site include eyewitness testimony.
Goose's Gosling. Is that you, Skippy? Hello, son. Or daughter. I don't know What's up?
Testimony, photos, and reports of unidentified
What is that? What was that? Hang on. What?
On Friday began releasing hundreds of files on UFOs after President Trump ordered the documents to be made public. The files posted on the Pentagon's newest UFO site include...
Is this a thing? What the fuck are we looking at? All this is just specks. Specks on a black background. What am I supposed to be looking at?
Eyewitness testimony, photos, and reports of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP sightings, detailing...
This is a dot transversing another dot.
Incidents dating back decades from around the world. Hello, I'm...
Don't emphasize things like that. You did it the wrong way. Just 1080p.
The Pentagon
show
on
it to me
Friday
at
began
1080p.
releasing hundreds of files on UFOs after President Trump ordered the documents to be made public. The files
But what was that supposed to be?
posted on the Pentagon's newest UFO
Is this a
UFO
drone?
site
What is?
include eyewitness testimony,
But this could very easily just be like headlights on a road somewhere. If we're in a drone, why would it have a picture of a drone? I'm very confused. I still remember hatching next to the swamp, then you flew away the next day. Yeah, Skippy, that is you. What are you doing, man?
photos, and reports of unidentified...
Okay, so that's a drone. But the thing that flew by it... Now, fuck, man! Can't drones fly really, really fast? So if a drone can fly really, really fast, then whatever's flying by the drone will look like it's going even faster.
Include eyewitness...
So it could just be trailing. It could just be like a light trail.
The documents to be made.
I was honestly just supposed to be reacting to this stuff and not like trying to debunk it or anything. But holy fuck, I cannot believe that people are like freaking out over this stuff.
Public. The files posted on the Pentagon's newest UFO site.
That's like nothing. It could just be a light pole. It could just be anything. It could be a drone with a flashlight on it. Like, it could be anything.
It include eyewitness testimony, photos, and reports of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP sightings.
And what are we looking at? What is it supposed to be?
Incidents dating back decades from around the world. Hello, I'm Eleanor Watson, CBS.
You gotta learn how to emphasize words differently. It's not from around the world, it's from around the world.
News' Pentagon reporter. The first batch of files included 28 videos. After reviewing all of them, these are the ones that stood out to me.
28 videos? This said look at the sixth video, or 6 videos at the Pentagon. 6 videos worth watching. Apparently there are 8 though. I'm into it. Oh, everyone's lagging. Yeah. Unsurprising. You know, it's probably just because we're talking about aliens. You know, it's probably just because there's so many aliens that are coming to the world right now that they're overloading. Like all their wireless transmissions are all overloading ours. You know, they're like, yeah, they're disclosing our information today. We've got to set the fucking mothership down, and we got to go and have some beers with these people so they like us. We don't want them like. Taking us to the lab and cutting us open and doing any more alien autopsies and airing it on Fox News or Fox TV or anything like that, you know? I'm not a zero, I'm a hero. Oh, okay. This is one of the videos? Is this what I'm looking at? So, okay, I'm seeing a what looks like a static ground. So, okay, I'm thinking that we're looking at this from the point of view of an airplane. That's my guess. And as it's going, like it's probably, you know, this could be like over a mile away. This could be like 2 miles away or something like that. Because I think this is the object we're supposed to be looking at. If you can see my mouse, it's sort of like right next to the N on the screen. anyway, it looks to be quite a distance away, and so the plane may have to bank or come up and then like go back down onto a different flight path in order to keep it in its vision. But like you can see, kind of like turning. See, like the ground has gone from here to that way. Skippy, don't pretend. But okay, so in general, I think the thing that a lot of people look at when they're trying to find ways to debunk a UFO video are the sort of perspective. That's like one of the many things that people consider. And when it comes to something that is like on a really big distance, so like if you're in a plane and you're looking at the ground, anything in between can either look like it's moving way too fast, or it can look like it's moving very slowly, or it can look anomalous to what you think when you're on the ground looking at things on an equal plane. I am not a specialist. I don't know exactly how to describe that, but also elevation plays a big role in that as well. There was a video that I saw not too long ago that showed, it's on Corridor Crew. They were debunking UFO videos. And one of the things that they showed was like a series of lights that were sort of on this plane, and it was, I think it was backing water, and like you couldn't tell where it was, and they were like, all right, so guess where this shot is. Like, is it of boats? Is it on the ocean? Or like, is it in the sky or something like that? And they all got it wrong. And then they looked at this, they zoomed out, and it was like a little inlet. It was an inlet in Japan where all these ships were going, and it looked like a series of UFOs. It looked like there was like a bunch of UFO activity happening, but it was just boats on the water. And the only thing that changed was the amount of context you were getting visually. So with this kind of shit, I don't know what we're supposed to think about this. The reason why they're only trickling shit like this out is because this is all they have. They don't have anything else. So glad we got fake UFO files and not the Epstein files. Oh, we'll get them eventually. It'll just be after any of the people who could be prosecuted are dead, probably. Unfortunately. I would love to see Trump rot in prison for his role in aggressively graping a 13-year-old and then requiring her to get an abortion. So if I am to assume, again, which would be an incorrect assumption, if I am to assume that the plane itself is somehow stationary, it's just hovering in air, where you can see a static ground that isn't moving by any relation of either the Earth's rotation or the movement of the plane or anything like that, these points in time here are fixed. They are not moving at all, which would be the only way that I would believe that this is moving in a fashion that is unnatural or outside the realms of possibility. You can adjust the camera, like the camera movement can even make this move that way. And I think I see, yes, okay, we have land references. Okay, now that makes this interesting. But also, I think I know what this is. Hang on, let me see. So again, this is, I think, the thing that we're supposed to see, because this was from the beginning here. Oh, I didn't see those windmills below. Okay. That gives me way more to go on. So first it's going left with this indicator, because the way that this either LiDAR or FLIR or whatever it is, it's moving left to keep this object in its crosshairs. And so I don't know if you can see, but it goes left and then it goes down. I'm putting my finger on the screen like you can fucking see it. So it goes left this way, and then the camera goes down a little bit, and now we're headed right, and now the camera's panning right. And now the camera has to pan right very quickly because this thing has sped up. If what I remember of it going by these is correct, then it will have sped up quite a bit. Yeah, so... hang on, I'm gonna see if I can make this go slower. So what I'm looking for right now is occlusion. Okay, that's a little scary. Though that doesn't necessarily mean anything, it is a little confusing. And I don't think that's like compression that's making it disappear, because it does it with everything that it goes behind. Though it doesn't look like it goes behind these ones. It looks like Old No Soul aliens. Why are you just saying aliens with a question mark? Aliens? Yes. You gotta hit me with a with a full sentence there, man. But so, okay, so two things can be happening when we're looking at it transverse these windmills. A, it could be because the thing that we're looking at depends on... Aliens got caught red-handed in 4K? Not as far as I know. It is on 1080. Okay, it is on 1080p. Just want to make sure that I'm as detailed, we're as detailed as we can be. So, it looks like oh, actually... So, sometimes we can't see laser designators for things. Like, it has to have, like, a colored laser. It has to have, like, be in some atmospheric disturbance or something like that in order for it to become visible. And what I was seeing... Hang on, I'll see if I can see it here again. If you notice, there are little other specks of sort of, like, white light, kind of white sort of looking light here. That stay kind of around, like they stay sort of static, which to me tells me some kind of screen, whatever it is, it's on the screen. Whatever it is on, it's on the glass or the whatever the panel is that's in front of this, or it's just compression. But see, I don't believe that footage like this is as grainy as we would... Fuck, man, the bit rate is going down again. And, like, I'm not recording this, so this isn't going to be one that I'm able to just clean up and edit and post later to try and make back the views. This is, like... This sucks, man. Is it still raining? It was rain that was doing this earlier. Oh, it's not raining anymore. YouTube's just not really enjoying people streaming on it right now. So here, right there, that tells me that this is probably a reflection. Because these lights here, I'm calling them lights. These specks of white on the screen, they seem to get brighter as the other light gets near it. See, look, brighter. More pronounced, bright, but it's static. It's not moving. So when you're looking at something that's either infrared or ultraviolet, things in the background are usually... It's the amount of light that is observed or visible for the LiDAR or the whatever the instrument is that's trying to look at these things. It depends on the level of light that's available to be able to see things, and whether you're on regular spectrum of light or you know, any other spectrum of light, you still have to depend on the amount of light that's reaching whatever it is, either your retina or your eye, or whatever camera that's looking at whatever it is you're trying to decipher. So that means that objects in the background can influence how you see things up closer. Donnie, they're asking about files again. Quick whip together some UFO releases. So something in the background that is behind something in the foreground can still affect how it looks. It just happens to be that it looks like it's going behind these things, though, though you would see it disappear completely in most cases. However, also diffusion can have a role in this too. Like, diffusion can possibly make you see things behind other things, but that's when an object's really close, when you have to use your peripheral vision to fill in the blanks. Like, if you do this with your finger, everyone try it. Everyone do it right now. Do it right now. If you go like this, you can essentially see through your finger. Through your finger. But, like, that's what diffusion, I don't know if that's the right term, but that's what I understand diffusion to be. But that's usually when objects are, like, way closer to you, and I feel like this would fully disappear if it was going behind these things. So I think what is happening is that it's in front of them, it's just dimming as it gets in front of these things a little bit. But my guess is that this is simply a laser, or like some kind of a beam that is being shown onto the ground, possibly to indicate potential targets or to indicate areas of strike for whatever military aircraft is what is filming it. Or just another in their complement, you know. But I don't think this is a flying saucer, nor is it an angel, because it wouldn't. Oh man, the world is massive. The sky is massive. Unless this was an angel or just a being of light that was trying to specifically present itself to this camera, there would be no reason for it to be doing these things, doing these maneuvers, showing itself to the plane, being present here, moving as fast as it does. It moves about as fast as, like, let's say if you're increasing your speed in an aircraft and you have a laser pointed somewhere, it would increase the speed of the laser, like the little dot on the ground, with the thing that's going forward. So that's why I think that we're seeing the laser on the windmills, because it's being projected from either behind the camera or the aircraft that the camera is on itself. This is not. I think it's only unidentified insofar as the government just doesn't know for sure which laser it came from, or which type of laser it is, or what aircraft it was on. But I think they can be pretty confident. They know a hell of a lot more than I do on these subjects, and so I feel like they would know pretty well off the bat that this is just a laser of some sort. Because it doesn't exhibit any of the behavior that a thing in flight does. It exhibits the behavior that a reflection does. Either reflection or projection. See, it didn't go behind. It just diminished a little bit because there wasn't light behind it, or there wasn't a white or a background contrasting it enough behind it, because maybe the windmills are white and the beam itself like is invisible or something like that, and like, or it's complementary color, or it's, I don't know, something having to do with some kind of like thing on the light spectrum. I don't know. Whatever the deal, it is seemingly not aliens. And plus the fact that the other artifacts on here, so imagine that you're using laser technology to either identify targets or to show people where things, like to designate a place for like GPS or something like that. There's a bunch of different reasons why you would use a laser. Imagine that you're doing it all day, every day. Lasers can affect the lenses of cameras and photography equipment, things like that, light sensors. Lasers can affect all of that. And if you ever used, like, shine a laser at a TV or a camera or something like that in a lens for a very long time, and you're going to see artifacts. In any preceding session, you're going to see artifacts. And so with something like possibly a laser that's coming out of potentially this aircraft, if I'm to see a bunch of other nodes on here that look like similar lights to this, I'm assuming that it could just be laser burns. And if they get brighter, because they're eating away at the material that protects the the lens itself, if I was to shine another laser in a similar position, it would light up the previous node because there's nothing there dimming it or preventing it from lighting up as well. So these are all just connected luminosity from one point of light. So you see how that light, again, I'm pointing with my hand, this light here gets brighter as the other light gets near it. And then it fades away. See, this light got brighter when this light went near it, and then it faded away. That light got brighter. These lights are getting brighter. This light got brighter. You see what I'm saying? So like little specks are lighting up when this, whatever it is, comes near them. So this is being projected out of something that is interacting with the other potential laser burns from other parts of this lens. And I'm just a fucking guy on the ground. This doesn't look like an aircraft. I'm sorry. It doesn't look anything close to an aircraft. And it definitely ain't angels. Definitely ain't angels. I must enunciate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to be seeing here. It's not diminishing as it goes. Like, it's not shrinking. It's just hovering. So it's not flying away. Ow, I grabbed my neck. I feel like we're looking... You know, we're looking at the ground at a pretty at a pretty easy to conceive angle. Like, I can wrap my head around where in space we are. And this thing is just a bright light. Like, what am I supposed to be seeing there? They don't give any context for it. They're not, like, telling us what it is. It's just a laser, man. I think it's just a designator, like laser designation on the ground. More clouds. We've got more clouds here. Super sweet. We're seeing 3 points of ultraviolet light. I mean, this is nothing. We have no point of reference. We don't know where. Okay, cool. No point of reference. No idea where this was located. No, nothing. Just nothing on here. Nothing. Super cool. Good video. That's a nothing. I can't debunk that because it's nothing. Because it's a series of dots in a complete void. Just a big old pile of nothing. I mean, I would love to know, you know, if there's some context to this, like if it's supposed to mean something, but so far it's just a little blob in the center of a screen. Okay, now this looks like something. I'm trying to find if this is the sky or is this the ground? What am I looking at? Oh, okay. We're nothing. Cool. And I think this is all still at 0.5. Okay, so I guess the thing about this one is that it looks like it's kind of rippling or undulating in some way. But again, compression can do that. You know, compression artifacts can make things seem like they pop out of nowhere. So I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't look at the surface of something and assume that it's undulating and moving unnaturally if this type of video is notoriously unreliable. Looks like a cube jellyfish. I mean, does that not seem like a balloon? Like, has nobody ever owned a cellophane balloon before? Or one of those tinfoil balloons? Mylar. Like, that's a Mylar balloon. Like, that's just LiDAR. Or not LiDAR, Mylar. Fuck! Keyframes are not being sent often enough. Fuck you, YouTube. At first it was like, YouTube's not receiving enough data for your stream to be stable. And then it was like, now you don't have enough keyframes. Shut the fuck up. That's just a Mylar balloon. Like, it's very easily just a "it's a boy" balloon. Is this supposed to be aliens? It's floating upward just like a balloon would. And it's not moving very fast. It's going maybe, I don't know, a foot a second. That was nothing. That was a fucking balloon. What? I think that's what we're looking at. It's easily a reflection. Okay. No, that's not a reflection. Okay. Now you've got my attention. It looks like someone in a squirrel suit. It looks like someone who's like freebasing? Base jumping. You know, honestly, it just looks like somebody's freebasing. You know, they're potentially just a meth head. You know, probably from LA or the surrounding areas, and they've hit the pipe, as it were, and this is just them floating around. You know, doing meth head things. That's the one that I keep seeing on Reddit. It didn't go anywhere, did it? It kind of like floated around, but hang on, sorry, I'm still looking at this one. Where is it? Where did it go? Right here. It's right here. Okay, and then it's gone. But we don't know what direction this is supposed to be in, right? We don't know how the camera's oriented. I don't know if it's oriented, you know, if I'm supposed to be looking at it this way or this way. But that honestly just looks like a paraglider, or not paraglider. That looks like one of those squirrel suits that people wear. It just looks like a squirrel suit, to be quite honest. TBQH. You can even make out like arms and legs. But, like, how can we tell anything about this? So it's either some kind of bird, a person with one of those squirrel suits, or some kind of glider or drone. Like, it's just... It has what appears to be either limbs or wings on its side, and it's not going very fast because the plane, whatever is taking this footage, outpaced it at one point. So it's not going fast and it's not changing direction. And it could even be that the distinction that I'm seeing here could just be, you know, wobbly artifacts, or like, you know, just not filled in pixels. Yeah, I don't really think that was really anything, let alone aliens. United Arab Emirates. Yeah, I just think that it's... So in the category of UAP, often sometimes when something is unidentified, it really just means that they haven't pieced it together yet, whatever it is. It could be something completely innocuous. It could be a bird. It could be a lighter. It could be a globe. It could be a balloon. It could be a shoe. We don't know, and that's what makes these things unidentified. So it's not always aliens. It's not always some highly advanced technology or even a cryptid or anything like that. It's often not something religious. Yeah, unidentified can really mean literally anything, like just actually anything. All right, so this is my first time seeing the actual footage that I've been seeing, you know, all over my FYPs. So this will be my first time ever reacting to it. My sinuses are killing me. So it doesn't appear to be moving. Any of this movement is just the thing that's recording his footage, if it's a drone or an airplane or whatever. I mean, I've seen plenty of upscaled images of this, but the image itself really just looks like what happens when I got a laser. Got a laser in here somewhere. Okay, well, I guess I won't be firing the laser. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I mean, you get some pretty cool effects when you start playing around with lasers and cameras. It can destroy your camera, so don't do that a lot. But you can kind of see like what I'm getting at here. Coronas are crazy, like just the thing that you see when you shine a light into a mirror, like the thing that you see when you shine a light into a camera. It's that kind of stuff. And when we see stuff in FLIR or LiDAR or like any of the infrared technology that we use in war times, like things look way different, you know? Like it's not just like how things are in real life. And so if we look at a reflection of a light looking back on us through something like that, it's gonna look pretty wild. And because there's so much light there, I've heard people talking about this trail that's forming behind it, and it looks like something that is happening in the image itself. Look, like if we were to go out in a jetpack and to see this thing up close, it looks like this thing is emitting it, like there's some cloud of smoke coming out of it. But this can also happen with compression. With we see it in like some of the ghost debunking videos where they actually show you how compression works, like where it can like have a person like, and then the artifact will make those pixels freeze while it's the color of whatever it is that the person, like hard to explain. It'll show the person essentially melting, but because they're just holding on to the pixels, they're keeping those frames while the guy walks by. And then people can even do like, make it look like they're going in and out of existence, because the compression keeps the keyframes exactly what they were when they were not filled with person. So it looks like an empty space. It looks like someone's coming into existence just kind of spontaneously. But for this, it's basically, if the sky is dark sky color, and it's because of the perception of this thing that's looking at it, then the reality might be that the sky is lighter, and it might be that there's just a differential in the amount of light that is getting to the capturing device, whatever this is, and the compression could be making it so that the contrast is different as we get so much light here. Do you see what I'm saying? So like the amount of light that's being shown to us is so intense that it's creating a void in the image that we already have on screen. And as our view of it continues to try and get it centered, it's trailing it. So that absence of light, or that void of light, which looks like a lighter color because you don't see any contrast for the LiDAR or the infrared to pick up, it looks like void, or it looks like smoke, or it looks like some emptiness in the clouds, which I assure you it is not. See, now, I don't believe at any point that vehicle, or whatever that was moving. Right here is still the aircraft moving. So the aircraft that we are in right now, whatever this aircraft is, the aircraft that we're in, the airplane or the drone or whatever, it's moving. This is its movement. This is its movement. It's seeing the thing on the camera. It's trying to get it into view. This is its movement. It's not the thing moving. This is not the object moving. The object is not moving right now. Still not moving. 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 This is not the object moving. The object is not moving. That is not what's happening. It is the camera moving. There's still no... To me, there's still no sign of this object moving. To me, it still looks like this is the camera trying to get it into frame. Right. Right. Okay. If you saw the same thing that I just did, you know why I'm essentially face-palming right now. So okay, I was wrong. But what can you think of? What can you think of that might potentially be drifting like this? Now imagine that you're actually, instead of looking out, imagine that you're looking down. Okay? Take this view and just distort it so that you're on the edge of a plane. Like, let's say that you're on the roof of a plane and you're looking down onto the ground right now, and tell me what this looks like to you. Hang on, we'll even, there we go. Okay, so, fuck man, I cannot believe I didn't see this earlier. So, you're on the plane, okay, and you're looking down with an infrared camera, or a FLIR, or whatever this is. Just tell me what you think this could be. I think I know what it is, but just tell me what you think it could be. Anything you can think of that might involve flares, perhaps? Anything that you can think of that might involve flares? Maybe some kind of a test? Aliens don't spread hate as far as I know. Brian Addington, that is entirely correct. So yeah, I would say if we were doing the ever beloved clickbait poll that I usually do for stuff, it would be, the question is who's more evil, and Christians would have been number one on the poll so far if this was a regular if this was one of the regular stream days. Well, it is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get much sleep, so my brain is like melted right now. But can you imagine anything, Brian Addington, since you're the only one here, I might as well ask you, can you imagine anything that might involve flares where if you were looking down on it, it would appear to be something like this? So your camera's not very good. If you're looking down from a plane, you're moving, right? And so your camera's not very good at keeping that thing in frame, but it is moving. This is not just reference movement. Now imagine if you're standing up and you're looking down, this thing might be getting further away from you rather than closer up. Even though the image gets bigger, I think what's happening is the guy on the roof of the plane is actually coming down to meet it. If that helps at all. But I think there's something very specific happening here. Either that or it's looking up. I don't know which, but I think it's either looking straight down or straight up. No, and this is going to spoil it. This moment here is going to spoil it. So if you've got a guess, let me know what your guess is. But it's about to get spoiled. So I'll give you a second, and anyone else who joins happenstancely. Do you know the altitude? Let's assume that it's pretty high. Let's assume that it's like just above halo, just above halo insertion height. Which also might kind of give it away. But that we're, you know, we might just build a bowl here to be a schmokin' for a second, while I allow anyone to just kind of stumble in here and take a guess. But I think that there's one very specific thing that this is, and if I let it play anymore, it's going to spoil it. But I'll let it play back from the beginning of the shot. And just tell me... just imagine that you're either looking straight down or straight up. And tell me if there's anything that you can imagine that might look like this. If you're looking straight down or straight up. Let's say straight down from the roof of a plane. Or a side door. Deployment hatch of some sort. Or you're on the ground looking up. You ever been to an air show? Not a drone, then? I don't think it's a drone. If it is a drone, it's a very specific type of drone that is meant to be retrieved and taken care of, and it's like probably very expensive. But as far as I know, drones don't really have like retrieval technology that's very good. Because you don't want to retrieve something that could be in enemy territory. Which that might also give it away too. But I'm gonna try and stop it before. Yeah, okay. I'm stopping it before it gets to the point where the spoiler happens. So when I used to go to air shows, I'm a big like fan of just airplanes. Like I don't know much about them, but I love airplanes, and I love like aeronautics, and just like I don't know, I love that, like the coolness of it. Jets are so pretty cool. But like if you've ever been to an air show at an airfield, then typically what they'll do is they'll have performative skydivers. They'll have people that like go and jump out of planes and, you know, interlock arms, and they do like cool like designs and things like that. And if you're in the military, then when you do sort of like demonstrations or tests or things like this, I think maybe even in practical application, I wouldn't know because I'm not a service member, but I would assume that in practical application, when you're doing an insertion like this, you would probably have some kind of a flare or infrared flare, even like something that would like set off, like, I don't know, some red light or something in order to potentially, like, not be detected by enemies, but to be visible to people who know what they're looking for. And if I was going to do something like that, then I would probably use that receiving technology, so the FLIR or the LiDAR or whatever, that was able to pick up something like that while myself inserting. Don't clip that. But you get what I'm saying. So let's say, just for the sake of argument, that if we're looking straight up and down, subscribe later, man. Have a good one, Brian. If we're looking straight up or down, and we direct our eyes to the top left of this, let me turn my face cam off for a second. If we direct our eyes towards the top left of this image, right about here, what do you see? That drifts into frame. I just moved it over on the vertical view so you can actually look at it. What does that look like? A tesseract? No. Even the symbol here is not a tesseract. That's like a chaos sigil. That's this thing. That's the... Hang on. That's this thing. That's that thing. Where... God damn it. Where am I in relation to things? Ah! I can't... There we go. That's this thing. So, if you're not familiar, the military has these things. Well, whatever. I couldn't find a picture of it. I'm back for a bit. Flares are used for all kinds of things. Signaling light source combined with chaff, they can confuse SAMs or air-to-air missiles. You know, Helmet, I'm so fucking glad you're here right now. Tell me what you think this is. Just from looking at it. First, tell me where you think we're looking. Do you think that we're looking up or down? Or, sorry, out or down? Or, let me phrase this in a way that makes sense. Do you think that we're looking on a horizontal plane, or do you think we're looking on a vertical plane? Without seeing it move, just let me know if you think that we're moving, that we're looking at a vertical plane or a horizontal plane. I think this is all fake. Well, Skippy, I don't know if it's fake. It's just as of yet unidentified phenomena. So it just simply needs to be identified, and it can be anything mundane. It can be like a fucking toothbrush. Like, you know what I mean? Like it is very likely nothing. Let me switch to the horizontal. Most of the good stuff is behind your head and vertical. God damn it! Try to move my head down a little bit. There, I made me smaller. Also make me smaller. Just cause I don't want to take up the entire frame, you know? So yeah, I will just let it play just a little bit for you, and you can tell me what you think. I think we're looking up. Well, I'll explain once you tell me what you think. I'll explain what my theory is, and then you can tell me if you think it holds water or not. But yeah, take a good look when you're there. It's hard to tell if the camera's pointed up or down, as there aren't many identifiable features. What do you think? I think we're looking either up or down. I think if I was to turn my head to the left and look at it so that the chaos star that we're looking at is at the bottom of my view, I think that's the way we're meant to look at it. So like the play arrow would be facing to the right, and it would be facing down if what my assumption about the orientation is correct. I'm just gonna keep letting it play just as is. Now that should be a pretty easy indicator of what that is at this point. Once you saw that, and if you had your head turned like I did. Tell me if you saw it. It's whipping around on the left side there. It's not on the vertical. Here it is on the vertical. Sorry, I forget that it doesn't show the whole screen on the vertical. But that should make it very obvious. Why would it leave a vapor trail like that if it's not a jet engine? That's not a vapor trail.
The Pentagon says more documents will be released on a rolling basis every few weeks. UFO sightings have been tracked.
I don't think that's a vapor trail. What I think is that it's cast off from a flare. And if it's phosphorus or something similar, something equally as luminous, it would show up as black on a FLIR camera or an infrared camera. Especially with shining, like if let's say it's an omnidirectional light, like let's say a pinpoint light, like let's say like one of the ones that you would use to, or let's say one of the ones that would be the result of a flare burning hot. Call me crazy, but it feels like this was a skydive. So the way that I see this, if I'm looking so that the triangle's pointed down, I am looking either up or down on something or someone who is on a parachute. Well, no, what we're looking at is just things that are abiding by wind differentials. Look, like as the parachute comes into view, you see it's like whipping around, which means that there's probably some heavy winds. Look at that. That thing is out of control. So it's, as you can see, its axis for turning is like here. See? So this thing, and we could be falling with this. This could be something that is, because there is no landmark, there's no like ground or anything, so we have no frame of reference for what the orientation is supposed to be. But this is clearly something on a parachute. And I mean, that's very clearly a parachute. Like, look at that thing. You can see it's connected here, connected there, connected there, connected there. And it's so you can see it's like at a fixed point, right? So this either and see again, what we don't see, what we see as like darkness in infrared or FLIR, as I'm sure you know, shows up as white or invisible. And yet when we see like points of light that are luminous to a certain degree, they show up as black, right? So a burning flare floating down, attached to a parachute somehow, right, would show light through the parachute. So if the camera's seeing light through the parachute, it's going to show up as a black contrast. That's why we can see the parachute. When it goes invisible is when it's away from the sun, so that the chute itself is not projecting light through. It's not being embossed in whatever. It's not being illuminated. So there's no black there, so we don't see the parachute. But as it whips back around outside of or like away from the sun, so that the light source isn't facing us, we see nothing. We see a parachute. There's the parachute. It's still there. You can see it traveling. Right there. It's transiting, and now we're down. Either it hit the
Pentagon
ground.
says
This is so apparent to me. I'm shaking right now that you don't see what I'm saying. Now it's on the ground. Swimming Pumpkin, what's up? Do you think it's a balloon? This tells me it's either just stopped or the parachute has has stabilized itself. Because now it's floating up above us, right? And if we're looking up, if I'm looking up at it, then it would have just fallen behind me. See, like I'm looking up, and now it's just fallen behind me. So
the
now I
Pentagon
can't
says
track
more
it anymore
documents
because
will
it's
be
on the
released
ground.
on a rolling basis every few weeks.
Do sky jumpers use flares? Can they be bright enough to cause a corona on a coronal aberration on a camera? Some kind of infrared camera, clear camera. Can you use one of those on the ground? Yeah, I think it's a flare. I agree after seeing more. That's why it looks like a pointy star. Well, there's those corona fields. There's a... I'm trying to find it. Hang on. No, it's not coronal mass ejection. It was in Russia. Or the Ukraine, maybe? Someone just caught, like, I forget what it's called. Coronal something. Well, actually, this is a really good example of it. No, I didn't want to do that. No, I didn't want to do that! I want to get this off full screen. There we go. I can't raise my shoulders any higher. I can. I can probably go higher. A little bit. So, I think it's pretty easy to see that in certain circumstances, bright lights to a camera can look like just pointy, weird objects that are very not a coronal mass ejection. It's called a coronal lens flare, I think. They can look like stars. They can look like pointy, glossy star things. And see, like even like here, it's just a thing, you know? It's just a thing that happens in cameras. It's an in-camera thing. And yeah, I was honestly thinking that it was just a flare, like maybe some like locational positioning with like some kind of like a geotag or something on it that they're using for reconnaissance or they're testing or something like that. Or it's like equipment that's, you know, attached to a parachute, like that they need for like an insertion or something. Like there's many, many different reasons I can think of that someone would drop in with a flare. And I know that there are some that are like, you know, blacklight flares and things like that that don't necessarily show up very well to the naked eye, that are usually people like, oh, well, I don't know what that could be. But like, if this was on infrared or ultraviolet, it would turn black. There you go. There's your evidence.
UFO sightings have been tracked for decades. The military said in a 2024 report there's no evidence of any existence of extraterrestrial life. For CBS News.
Well, see, the things that we saw, none of the things that we saw were in any way indicators of aliens. Helmet, if you didn't see this one... This one is clearly just a targeting laser. Which is funny, you can see the lens that we're looking through here is pockmarked with like laser burns. And they get brighter as the laser gets closer. See, that just got brighter. got brighter. This one got brighter. 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 And it's moving robotically, like pretty much something that's on like an automatic gimbal would do. Very robotic. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of seeming like the UAP footage that we've been getting most recently is a little bunk. Again, that looks like a balloon. I don't know what you think. I don't know what you guys think. This could be anything! I mean, if you're up at like whatever it is, suborbital, if you're up so high that your frame of reference is like over a mile to the ground, then like anything that's closer to them than to you is gonna look like it's like acting crazy or behaving weird or traveling too fast or whatever. That was like a plastic bag or some shit. We saw that one. Oh, and then this one, I don't know if you saw this one. This one just looks like a person in like one of those flying squirrel suits. Just like a base jumper. Like, it doesn't look like a piece of futuristic technology. It's not. It actually slows down more than the vehicle that's tracking it at some point. So, yeah. Okay. This is the one that I haven't seen yet. What am I looking at? Is it the thing in the center there? Oh no, I think this was the thing that I saw. Regardless, this is a tracking laser. See, do you see how slowly it's... You just saw the way that this vehicle is transiting... The vehicle that we're in is transiting land, right? It's flying over something. And... Same UAP. Okay, so this is probably the one with the windmills. What happened? Is the one with windmills? No, okay. That's not telling me. Whatever. That's like... It's just... If it moves too slow and too robotic... but yet it's keeping up with the plane, like, that's not unexplainable. That's lasers. That's either laser, light, or like, I don't know. It's really usually just lasers or lights. That's a fucking balloon, dude. That's a fucking balloon. Do you see how it's not pulling any kind of maneuvers? How it doesn't appear to be propelled in any way? And how there's a fucking string hanging down from it? Dear God. I cannot believe that people are that gullible. Whose fucking house were they looking at? I think the bigger conspiracy here is, what were they doing when they saw this thing? This is a house in Syria that they are very interested in. In 2024? Yep, light glare, halo effect. You don't think that might be a sign that maybe there might be some kind of anomalies on your thing? On your camera? Perhaps? Especially if there's other anomalies that are present? Remember that things moving slowly can look like they're moving fast when filmed from a fast-moving aircraft. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was trying to describe earlier when, like, I was like, if you're looking at something long enough, far enough away, then your point of like, the perspective is going to make everything else seem like it's moving very slowly, but you're actually going real fast. Oh, what? What was any of that? Is it just the glare? That's not unexplained. That the sun creates light and life on Earth. It's been around for billions of years. What am I looking at? What is that supposed to present to me? That's supposed to be some kind of flying saucer? Jesus Christ. Alright, well, whatever. So we've learned, begrudgingly, we've learned, you know, what appears to be the consensus of evidence, the gathering of evidence that has been dropped in this latest push for UFO disclosure, and it looks like a whole big fucking steaming bag of nothing. At least I'm not finding anything substantial in it.
The Pentagon on Friday began releasing hundreds of files on UFOs after President Trump ordered the documents to be made public. The files posted on the Pentagon's newest UFO site include eyewitness testimony, photos, and reports of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP sightings, detailing incidents dating back decades from around the world. Hello, I'm Eleanor Watson.
Oh, we already listened to you. Yeah, so the thing that I find insane is that, yes, there have been lots of claims of UFOs in the past, especially when it comes to talking about aliens. However, there's been very little actual evidence. It's mostly just been stories from people, personal accounts, personal experiences. And yes, well, I think in terms of talking about how it's important to, like, share what you're feeling, and it's important to be transparent on that kind of stuff. I think, when it comes to this, we're assuming that everything is aliens. Kind of crazy, or it's crazy how late Obama was to disclose this. Obama wasn't... I would assume that he never disclosed this. If he went off it, because he's not in office, and he's not in charge of UFOs.
CBS News' Pentagon reporter. The first batch of files included 28 videos. After reviewing all of them...
Where are the Epstein files? Are they going to drop the unredacted Epstein files? That would be cool, if we could start holding people accountable for that.
These are the ones that stood out to me.
Yeah, we already heard you, lady. Alright, so now that... Shush! Now that we've... I think those are loud noises happening not in my house.
You're not alone.
So now that we've heard what the news has to say, let's hear what the people on the ground are saying. Okay, let's hear what the opinion on on Capitol Hill is like, okay? He's not in office anymore, that's kind of the point. Right, but if any UAP stuff... What? Ask the DOJ. How the fuck do you expect me to ask the DOJ? He's not in office anymore, that's kind of the point. Yeah, but if he was made aware of aliens being real, then wouldn't he have said something in the time that he's been out of office? He's been on plenty of podcasts. Wouldn't something have slipped at some point? I just don't feel like there has been substantial enough evidence that there's aliens for anyone to go public with anything, because these are all nothing burgers. The things that we saw, I'm just some fucking guy. And I was able to explain those things.
I knew it before. I didn't need this, but I'd seen enough. I've seen enough, and I would hope that you all would get that opportunity to see what we've
sure
seen.
You guys have heard enough too. I mean, you heard the testimony of some of the technology.
No, goddamn. Why does Spacebar take us forward? Tim Burchett is one of the few Republicans I can stand. Well, I was about to talk about how big a piece of shit he is, mostly because of his LGBTQ stances, and he's often one of those people who demonizes people, like saying that they go into bathrooms with children and that they're just men in dresses and all that kind of stuff, which is, if you know anything about me, you know that I'm a big supporter of the LGBTQ community, and so I don't like stuff that he says about stuff, How would he get the information after he stepped out of office? No, we're agreeing right now. You're You're just not hearing me. We're agreeing. I apologize, Reyes, if I was unclear, but he wouldn't have disclosed it because there is no evidence of aliens. I'm an Obama on a podcast is nothing burger in it up itself. That's not the point. Can you redo that sentence, please?
I knew it before. I didn't need this, but I'd seen enough. I've seen enough, and I would hope that you all would get that opportunity to see what
And
we've
I'm sure
seen.
you guys have heard enough too. I mean, you heard the testimony of some of the technology. Representative Ogles asked some great questions, but when you have
All this while we're still trying to stall on holding people accountable for the Epstein files. And is it not surprising the people who are, pushing for this over transparency from, and accountability for the Epstein files, for the massive network of elites that was responsible for, ruining the lives of fucking hundreds of children? I would assume that would be just as important as finding out whether aliens are real.
a senior military pilots and officials saying that there's technology that they don't believe.
I honestly just feel like they're uncomfortable talking about Epstein, and they would much rather just talk about UAP. Like, I think that it's a shame thing. Like, it's an uncomfortability thing. Like, they find it uncomfortable and they don't want to talk about it, which is a human. Like, that's absolutely like a person would do. Badger, what's up? I mean, I agree. I think that is a very uncomfortable and awkward topic. But I also believe that the victims deserve justice. So I would put aside my personal opinion about talking about the subject, and then I would just, go further and then go and hold people accountable. It's not transphobia by doubting their claims. Yes, it is. That they're a woman, if that's what you're getting on him. No, transphobia is when you try to either argue that trans people aren't real or just the product of a mental illness, because we have determined many times at this point that that's not the case. Or if you're just accusing people of becoming trans simply so that they can be predators. He's been on record as saying those sorts of things many, many times, which is absolutely the definition of transphobia. You know, phobias are not always just outward fears of things. Phobias, or fear itself, can manifest in many different ways. It can manifest in you being uncomfortable around somebody. It can manifest in you wanting your kids not to be near those people. It can manifest in you not wanting them in your schools or teaching your kids. Any number of different ways. Actually manifesting within our country this very moment. People trying to take away rights from the LGBTQ community because they, quote unquote, don't agree with their lifestyle, or because they, quote unquote, don't think that it's natural, or that it's just not godly. That's all transphobia. All of that is transphobia. So you can't say that, whether you agree or not is not the issue here. The issue here is that people's rights are being taken away by rule of law, and that's not cool. And this guy is one of the proponents of that. So any of the good work he may do in the UFO disclosure department is kind of offset by the fact that he's one of the people, A, that's supporting not releasing the Epstein files, but also B, implicit in this whole trans erasure movement that's going on right now in Congress, which I don't support. So there you go.
Is from us, from humans.
3 United States congressmen were denied by our military.
Which is not unheard of. If you guys are new to this stream, you may notice that the face cams are off for a moment. That is because I'm about to smoketh a bowl of the Cannabis. If you happen to also be a Cannabis smoker and you would like to join, then please feel free. You are by no means required to, but I'm going to let the video play, and I will be back the moment I am done.
We're supposed to be telling them what to do, not the other way around. And so
Well, no. Judicial, congressional, and executive all kind of still have to listen to the military when it comes to offering insights on things as to why you'd compartmentalize certain government secrets. So you should be listening to the military when it comes to matters of national security.
we're going to continue on.
I mean, obviously, unless they're like blatantly lying about something, but I don't think they're lying about not having proof of alien life.
That path. Well, reverse engineering, of course.
All right, we're counting it down. 3, 2, 1. Smoke them if you got them. Cheers.
It's just so much ahead of us. But the question you have to ask, and it was alluded to in there, was that it's been handed off to people within the business community so that there is no FOIA, that you all in the press have no access. So, you know, where does the line end and where does it begin between the government and big business? And I think it'd be wise for you all to start looking at some financial disclosures of some of those corporations, some of the people who do the stonewalling in this town. When a commercial airline pilot
helmet life
does
happen.
Or something unusual, an anomaly in the air, that when he reports that to FAA, they report it to Congress. And I was told by leadership that it was blocked by the intelligence community, not the intelligence committee, but the intelligence community. And that is a very chilling effect. If someone can reach through the veil of government and pierce it to the point of we do not have access to something, you got to start asking yourself who the hell's in control.
But you guys also should too be asking these questions of the intelligence community, because
What about I feel like I'm speaking like a Republican here, but what about the Epstein files? Are we going to fight that hard for this kind of transparency and disclosure for the Epstein victims? Is that something that we're going to do, or no? We're going to drop that for UFOs? Okay.
we can only do so much as members. That's where you guys really pick up the slack, right? So keep the pressure on.
The CIA folks got a little nervous.
Well, no. Actually, committee members are supposed to be the ones that determine the precedent for these things. So let's say that you're in a committee about government spending. Boring, I know. But, you determine where the money goes. And I'm sure that someone who is either the recipient or not the recipient could either argue for or against whether they deserve the money or not, but you eventually are going to be the one that appropriates and then reappropriates that money to be assigned to whoever that is. It's not up to the news. It's what you guys have spent so long talking shit about mainstream news. Why do you think they're going to just start paying attention to you now? Like they're obliged to because that's their job, but like what the fuck? Have you ever seen an aliens or an UFO? I'll forgive the weird grammar there. I have never seen an alien or any UFO before. Well, I guess you could say that I've seen plenty of UFOs because there's been plenty of things that I've seen in the sky that I can't identify, but that simply happens to be that I don't know what a lot of things in the air are. Why are you covering it if you agree with us that it's BS to begin with? Are you aware that people can have fun? Or is that not a thing that you consider? Do you think that people experience joy and exercise their creativity muscle? Do you think that maybe the commentary might be the reason? The commentary might be the goal? Perhaps it's the actual speaking and talking? So you think that we're the first and only advanced life forms in the universe. Did I say that? Weird. Only like 5 people. Only like 5 people what? On the live, if that's your argument. What's my argument? For what? You're making up an argument that I don't think I'm making.
When we were talking, and when we were told that apparently that they do destroy the evidence because they don't want to come back and be pulled off the flight line. Now they say they're debriefed, but it's.
I mean, you could just like the sound of your own voice. That's also the case. Well, that's partially it. Yeah, I think I'm a pretty good speaker most of the time. And so I do sometimes get entertained by the content that I cover. This is also a form of therapy. I usually would spend this time either writing one of the many scripts that I'm working on, or creating other content for other channels, or editing videos or something like that. It really just depends on what I'm feeling like, but this is a hobby. It's a form of therapy. It's like journaling. I basically just kind of talk into a camera for a few hours, and I get to just say whatever I want. And gosh darn it, if that ain't therapeutic. It allows me a little break in the monotony of the day, and most of my other life most of my life other than this is pretty hectic and busy. So I enjoy being able to just sit down and not do really much for a few hours at a time. You know, it's like, I think most people would watch TV or be out in the garden or spending time with their kids, but I don't have kids, you know? So that's what I get out of it. What do you get out of being in a random person's live stream trying to make them feel bad about it? What do you get out of that? If anything, if you're suggesting that I'm sad, if anything, you're the sadder one. You didn't suggest that you were commenting on the news, which we know is BS, because you enjoy it, or did you validate my previous statement? No, I just told you that I like the sound of my own voice. I didn't sound like therapy. That sounds more like enabling. Enabling what? What's the addiction that I'm enabling? Addiction to hearing my own voice? You must not know me very well. Hey, I'm sitting on the toilet too. You don't know where I'm live streaming from. This could be anywhere. All right? I took a 2-minute video of the ISS not knowing what it was. See, and a lot of people would think that's a UFO. On the news, which we know is BS because you enjoy it. You assume my parents' basement? Oh, that's sad of you. Sounds like projection, man. Sounds like you gotta work on your mental health a little bit.
8 hours. They're interrogated.
You seem to be insecure about quite a lot.
And these guys don't make a lot of money. They fly in a $50 million piece of machinery, yet they're treated like dogs. And then on the backside...
Ah! No! No! Can I navigate? Oh, thank God. So let's get into the aliens. Do you believe in aliens, interdimensional or traditional? I think if they're real, I mean, if they're real in the way that we think they are, like they're actually beings that we can talk to that are coming here in ships, then I would assume that they're from outer space. I mean, I gotta assume that anything that has the technology to make it to us in like any kind of like interactional capacity, like they can make it to us, they have the technology to acclimate themselves to our atmosphere, and they have the technology to speak to us, and they have the technology to know what our biology is from a remote location. If they have all of that, then their technology is probably so far ahead of us that we can't even perceive the idea of what it might look like or what it might be. It could look like a rock. I don't know. Is that the most efficient form for something like what they need to be in? I don't know. So I can only imagine, but like, I don't know that they would be. I don't want to like put a whole category of something like a hollow earth, or like if they're from the ocean or something. I don't want to put a whole category of extra shit onto something that already feels to me too complicated to even like be able to rationalize. I just hope that there's proof someday that we can actually just kind of like see aliens, and they just kind of like come up and like, hey, what's up? You know, like, nice to see you. I don't know. A sentient ball of plasma. I mean, who knows? It could be like a fucking, like a lizard person. They could be the Silurians or whatever, you know? Like, I don't know. The Woogans. The hell is a Woogan? Look out for the Woogans. In Hitchhiker's Guide, you didn't know about the aliens until they needed to build a highway. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what is that, the Dark Forest? Or the Third Body Problem? Or one of those fucking astronaut cosmological, whatever the fuck those terms are.
Hell's in control.
But you guys also should too be asking these questions.
Atheism is the fallacy. Religion is man-made, and Sky Daddy didn't exist, therefore the universe was not created. What? The fuck are you talking about? Michelangelo?
Of the intelligence community, because we can only do so much as members. That's where you guys really pick up the slack.
What does that have to do with
so
aliens?
keep the pressure on.
The CIA folks got
Class
a
some
little
aliens'
nervous
cheeks.
when we were
I would, but I'm married. I would assume... Oh, maple edibles. Apologies for the maple edibles kicking in? Apologies for the maple. Are you talking about a maypole? Like the thing that people dance around in the summertime? You tie a ribbon around it, you know? Is that what you're talking about? Maypoles? I'm sure most people don't even know what those are, unless you're from one of those countries. Maple leaf. Real raw one. I think I'm confused. I think I'm confused. Life showed up pretty early on Earth. There's no reason for it to be, or for even the same condition to be replicated billions of times. Okay.
We're talking, and
Go off, King.
we're told that apparently that they do destroy
Canada. Oh, Canada.
the evidence because they don't want to come back and be
Our home and native land. Don't you guys have to like stand up and take a shot of maple syrup every time someone sings the Canadian national anthem? Isn't that? I heard that was like a tradition.
pulled off the flight line. Now they say they're
and then you got to do slap shots for Jesus.
you know, they're debriefed, but it's 8 hours. They're interrogated. They're pulled off the flight line. These guys don't make a lot of money. They fly in a $50 million piece of machinery, yet they're treated like dogs. And then on the backside.
Where is this happening? I mean, wouldn't we be hearing about military leaders who are being taken into custody because they're asking the wrong questions? What the fuck? So the skepticism isn't about the aliens being out there. No, my skepticism is about the government's idea of what's relevant right now. I don't think that the UAP that they're presenting to us is a suitable substitute for releasing the unredacted Epstein files and holding those responsible accountable. And so my argument here, if there is any argument to be made in a live stream in which I'm not diatribing, it's that I really think that the US government needs to be concentrating on different priorities, and I would still love to see if aliens are real. I can want two things at once, okay? I may be a filthy atheist liberal, but I would love to see some aliens, and I would love to see our government function. Those would be, you know, I'd throw up double hang looses for that. I would absolutely throw up double hang looses. And anyone that's from New Zealand or Australia would probably know that this is the sign of pluck a duck. And he may not be a goose, but, you know, he's pretty close. Geese are pretty close to ducks. Do they still have corkscrew dongs? Not sure. But maybe one day I'll find out. You know, I guess that's something I could just Google, but I don't want that on my search history. Nor, I guess, do I want to find out in real life. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying right now. If you know, you know.
They get a blemish on their record. So, you know, it's this military intelligence. Like I've said, military intelligence is like congressional ethics. It doesn't exist.
Oh, fuck you. So the whole thing that his whole thing here in this clip is talking about how the government isn't allowing the secrets to come out. And he says that it's the intelligence community because he, for some reason, is making a distinction between the intelligence committee and the intelligence community, which I think we're just talking about agency versus a lawmaking branch. But whatever. His whole thing is that he's saying that they're stonewalling any inquiries and even arresting people, which wouldn't this be national news? Like, wouldn't that be like, they're not just spiriting these people away. They're like taking them aggressively. He said on flights, like they're finding them on flights and then they're like taking them aggressively off the flight and putting them in custody because they're asking about UFOs. I just don't think that's happening. And it, you know, it could be. And like I said, if all of this goes further to proving that aliens exist, then cool, you know? I would love to flibble florp with Zeebzor. I would love to. Like, I look forward to the day where I can fleep with somebody named Quagagala. And I would love to do that. Call me a proponent of finding the truth, okay? Call me Mulder, because I want to believe. All right? Even though I'm a skeptic, I want aliens to be. I want a Zeep Zorp with a Veep Florp. I just want, you know, that'd be cool. I'd be like a space trucker or something, you know? You know, if you get the chance to explore the universe and you can deliver like cool shit to cool lives on cool places, why not take that opportunity? You know? I just don't think that's how it is. I don't think that's what's happening here. I mean, I'm a skeptic to men becoming women. I don't see any evidence of that actually happening, though. Well, I mean, trans men and trans women both exist, so the truth is out there. It is indeed out there. But whether it's going to come to us in my lifetime is the question. You seem a bit young for the X-Files. Have you ever talked to an alien's abductee? I would fucking love... That would be like a dream come true. To have like a show where I interview people who have like had actual paranormal encounters. Oh, God, that would be a dream job. Oh, my Lord. I just got shivers in my spine because I would love to do that so much. What exists? What truth are you talking about? I'm just saying that trans people exist. Like, they exist. Like, you can't argue that people exist. Like, they just exist. Trans people exist. If you want to argue that it's not a real thing, like it's not a real concept, then you'd be arguing with a big mountain of data. And I trust the opinion of biological doctors a bit more than some stranger on the internet. Which is, you know, that's you know, people just gotta critically think, man. Like, it doesn't affect you for someone to change their sex. It never has. And as far as I'm aware, sex change surgery has been a thing that people knew about since I was born. And I doubt any of you are younger than me, or I doubt any of you are much older than me. You know? I don't know. And trans person is what that exists. I don't know what that means. I don't know about doctors. I prefer my doctors in the woods. You mean like with healing poultices and like burning incenses? I don't mind a witchcraft doctor. I do not. What are you doing? Are you about to throw up? Is this because I haven't fed you? All right, fine. I gotta feed my dogs. She's throwing up. I'm sorry. She uses it against me. She can throw up on command now. And you're fine, right? Cool. What dogs I got? Cute ass ones. Bam, bam, bam. Maybe someday you guys will get to see him. I want to do a dog cam. Just because I would enjoy doing that. Oh yeah, have a good one, Helmet. I don't know if you gotta catch my breath. I rushed out of here. I gotta get more water. I'll address your comments when I get back. Sex or gender change surgery? Because I never heard of sex change surgery. No, sex changes were a thing when I was like a kid. Like you would say, oh yeah, hey, did you know that Johnny got a sex change? His name is Tina now. You know, when people were a bit more ignorant about it. You know, that was a thing. And it's been a thing, I think, canonically, as far as the U.S. is concerned, for almost over 100 years now, I'd say. Early 1900s, people were adopting other genders just for fun. And then earlier than that, they actually had those like those syndromes that people can get born with, where it's like you're born with, we call them hermaphrodites back in the day. I don't know if that's still the socially accepted term, but that's what I knew them as. But yeah, I'll be back. I gotta get water. My mouth is dry. Oh. Large war dogs? What is what type of breed is that? Like what makes a war dog? What makes a war dog a war dog? All right, let's see. I got carried away. I didn't realize that I hadn't fed my dogs yet. See, I was having fun here, you know. Doing too much UFO hunting. Alabay Central Asian. What the fuck? Oh, like a woof dog. Big woof. Woof! Kind of dog, you know? Is that a spiked collar? Okay, I don't know where that picture went. Now I'm in a field of woo. Look at that guy. He's too bashful. He's too bashful. And look at him. Okay, now that looks like a guy in a dog suit. If I'm honest. This does not look like an animal. That's like a person who's got a fetish. A person who's got a very particular kink. Although this pup does look like he's hiding a secret. That I will give to this pup. It looks like he knows something that you don't know. He knows something that he's got some kind of secret, and he's gonna take that secret to his grave. All right, you better believe it. He's trustworthy. He's a very, trustworthy pup. Yeah, mine are. If mine were in here, I would move the camera so you could see them, but they are elsewhere presently. I think they're hovering over their sister, who is slowly eating. All right. Well, we've seen what Burchett has to say, and we've seen sort of a glimpse of what the people on the ground are saying about the recent disclosure developments. Okay, so let's now shift our view to just people, just your average mom and pop, your average Bob and Joe, your average Judy and Clara Beth, whatever the fuck. And sorry, I'm trying to put on some new music. Some doom metal. How about that? Yeah. I don't believe in average people. Is that some kind of like a motivational, inspirational speech thing, or are you actually saying like something funny? Because it sounds funny. I think considering it is Procrustean? What is this stream about? Are you reacting to funny videos? Now we are. Essentially. We were talking about the UFO disclosure, but now we're going to take a look at what people on the ground are saying about the recent UFO disclosure. As you can see, I'm wearing my NASA hat, never a straight answer. Or, if you prefer, what is it, Hebrew for deceive. Whichever one is most popular right now. You gotta notice the NASA hat. It's very important. It's very important to this whole shtick. Procrustes used to be a bandit in ancient Greek that had a bed, and he would stretch or cut people that never fit. My grandman was abducted by aliens. When? Was this like a long time ago, or was it recently? Because this UAP phenomenon, this was from 2024 and 2025 and 2022 and well, lots of different times. I don't want to list all the different times, but it's from a bunch of different times. So we're disclosing a bunch of stuff lately, and it's unimpressive. It's been unimpressive. But let's hear what average people are saying about it. Let's hear what your mom and what your sister and what your brother-in-law are saying about it, okay? Why would aliens hide from us is the thing I'm not getting. I don't know why they would. Conspiracy theorists would say that they have like invisibility technology, or they're from a different universe, or they're stepping through a wormhole, or they have teleportation technology, or they're angels, or they're not even from outer space and they live in the hollow earth, or they live in the ocean, or they live in the mountains, or they live in the crust of the earth. Recently they were talking about how there was water underneath, like inside the crust, when really what it is like liquid rock, essentially. And they're saying like, see, that's proof that there's aliens! Even though the only thing that was like in there was like these protozoa or like worms or something like that. Whatever it was not aliens. And that's not where aliens come from. I think we have a catchphrase on this channel, which is mostly magic is not real, and don't be a dick. I think those are the two most common things that I would say on this channel. So if that is any indicator of my opinion of things like Hollow Earth. I think UFO culture is American culture. Oh yeah. That's just as American as apple pie, my friend. It's just as American as French fries and tater biscuits. I don't... whatever a tater biscuit is. I used to listen to Art Bell. This is where my interest first started with UFO things. I mean, we're talking like UFO stuff and like Loch Ness Monster and like Mothman and all that kind of stuff. I've been interested in all that kind of stuff since I was a kid. Trump and that Googled-eye FBI Indian are aliens. Google-eyed FBI. Oh, you're talking about Kash Patel. You think that they're aliens? Now, I haven't heard that one. But now, hang on. I'm not saying it's impossible. But I don't think Trump would be like outwardly trying to destabilize America if he was an alien. I think he'd be more deceptive and possibly smarter. Potentially, but that I don't know. They live, yeah, dude, consume. Obey. Consume. Something else. Read maybe. No, reading is the tool of the proletariat. Now, enjoy.
2026, and it's oddity, bizarre, informational change, just changes in general. I don't know how TikTok's going to categorize this video because I'm going to jump a little bit everywhere. Because
I don't know either. I mean, it looks like you're going to be talking about a couple of things. So
of the 2026. All right, first let's talk about, obviously, the alien disclosure, UFO disclosure. The
Wasn't aliens, but go on.
United States, the president.
Oh wait, no, non-human pilots, right? I think was in some of the accounts. So non-human entities have been mentioned to some extent, just not like comprehensively. We don't really have any actual evidence. We just have like written reports. As far as I know, if that is not the case, then feel free to re-educate me, but I'm pretty sure that we don't actually have any like real evidence of the so-called non-human living entity, whatever the fuck they talked about. Like it was like they were in a crash or something like that, and they recovered some non-human remains or whatever the fuck.
Promised to disclose information and documents. The first batch has come out. You know, nothing too crazy.
Still no Epstein files, but we're holding out hope. Maybe the aliens can help us figure that out.
Easy, but it's an okay start. We see some, you know, UFO.
Joke's on us. Only the light language speakers can communicate with them. Now, I've been practicing my light language, and I think the Anunnakis are going to start talking with me. We're going to start communing here anytime. Anytime now, okay? See? Did you guys feel healed? Do you feel healed now? I feel pretty healed. I feel like at least 5% healed. I feel at least 5% more healthy than I was before that, before I just light healed myself. You know? Let me know in the chat if I made you heal with my light speak.
We do see a being, but I think it might be a monkey, to be honest.
What? I need you to take it back a second.
You know, UFOs. We do see a being, but I think it might be a monkey, to be honest.
What?
States the president.
What does that mean? We see a being in the UFO?
I promised to disclose information and documents. The first batch has come out.
Okay.
You know, nothing too crazy, but it's an okay start. We see some, you know, UFOs.
We've seen UFOs.
We see some. We do see a being, but I think it might be a monkey, to be honest. Anyways, we see.
Where's the monkey coming in?
Stories about their encounters from the past, from 40s, 50s, 60s, 90s.
People time traveling?
It's a good start.
Oh no.
Now let's jump into some other articles and stuff that's come out this year that is very interesting. So the first
more
one
interesting than monkey
travel.
UFOs.
So physicists
time travel. Okay.
It's possible to send messages backward in time. Okay. So I'm going to be honest with you. I was trying to break down exactly how they are figuring this out. These physicists, these scientists.
Okay, she sounds shit-faced drunk. She sounds like she's been having a wine lunch. Do you pick that up a little bit? Am I the only one that's getting a little bit of that? Little bit of that. Problem is that real evidence doesn't exist and ends up being up to the jury or judge. That's why you get false convictions. Is that one of the energy psychology tarot ladies? Oh, I'm sure. Plenty of normal people like that. It's called spiritual. Yeah. Circumstantial.
And my brain doesn't completely compute what they're talking about, okay? They're talking about the movie Interstellar, how, you know, Matthew McConaughey's, I think that's his name, you know, went through a wormhole, ended up in a tesseract in the future, okay, and was able to communicate with his daughter into the past. While they're figuring out.
This is one of those like time is a flat circle things where he was outside of time and space, to my understanding, in the movie. He had fallen into the event horizon, and he had like entered the singularity or some shit. I don't think it was a wormhole. I think that he got to a place of compressed time and space that was so concentrated that he was like his existence was like inverted. How do I explain this? No, like, so he goes into the black hole. But in a black hole, time and space are compressed into a singularity, right? And that's like time distortion, right? I'm only associating time and space in it because of the amount of time dilation that happens when you get close. The closer you get to the singularity. So if it all goes into a singularity, then time and space are so concentrated in that moment that you can essentially time travel and alter reality in ways that no other human could at that particular moment in time and that particular point in space. I don't believe in all that, but that's, to my understanding, what was happening in Interstellar. And that's so like above my pay grade, not above my pay grade, but like it's so above like what I find entertaining. And Interstellar, they used gravity as communication because it was instant or something like that. Yeah, I mean, if that's the way that I'm wrapping my head around it, is that if you are in a place where time and space are condensed hard enough, like a singularity, then you essentially become the universe. You are, because if you're in a tesseract, you're in a place that transcends all space and time, and if you can manipulate things through the threads of the tesseract, then you can essentially just create, like, you're God for that little time. That's my understanding of it. And if he was somehow had like above human prescience, or was able to see in like into the, not see into, but like perceive of the third, fourth, or fifth dimensions, ideally the fourth dimension because that's time, right? Then he could potentially have actively manipulated things. I don't know. Maybe he would have needed some kind of like superhero telekinesis or some shit. It was a complicated movie because it also implied human consciousness is out of the body. Well, because he would have died. That would, like, spaghettification. Like, he would have just been dissipated. So it would have been his consciousness that was inside this tesseract, and thus he became himself God. The movie's weird. I don't like talking about it.
that is a very big possibility. And they're talking about in a quantum level and particles. And observing, not observing. I am not quite certain how this all works, but basically time is not linear. It can be...
Which, yeah, see, she's doing the same. It's a time is a flat circle thing. I knew it. He ascended. Yeah, that's which even validates some, theist beliefs, So I mean, that's kind of like, that's Christopher Nolan serving it up for both the religious and the secular. He's an equal opportunity guy, He embraces everybody. He makes Batman, and then he makes the Trojan horse. He makes a Dutch town, and then he makes time folding in on itself. He's a diverse guy. He's got a lot of different hats. I got a lot of different hats. Time isn't linear, and neither is space. Well, duh. Time-space is a surface wave. I like when people describe time as a river. That's pretty cool. It can branch, and like you can try and put a dam in it, but it's going to erode whatever like you put in there, and like, it's just kind of like always going to be like kind of flowing up and down and all that kind of shit. Did we get disclosed? It's here. Disclosure is here in 2026. Disclosure, full disclosure.
Bendable.
Now, hang on. It may not be the Epstein files, which is what people have been asking for. It may not be that. But there is disclosure. All right? There's some disclosure. It's not the thing that needs to be disclosed, but there is some disclosure.
Kind of like a ribbon. But they're saying that there's a possibility that if something happened yesterday and you want to change that today there is the possibility that we could send a message back to that time to change a possible course.
I know, man, like all the talk, like the QAnon stuff, like the fact that there was a cabal of like PDF files that are like, you know, abusing children, like rich elites. It just didn't happen to be people in basements of pizza parlors. And I believe that Epstein probably started that shit himself. Or like whoever wasn't allowed into his secret circle, you know. He was active on 4chan. I believe Ghislaine was a mod on Reddit. But like all that shit's ruined pizza for me now. Like I can't like, just because of the association with pizza. It's my favorite food. They haven't ruined pizza for me. Like I'm still gonna eat fucking pizza, but like now I just have to I have to be like, is this a setting where if I mention pizza, because I just randomly will tell people that I fucking love pizza. But like, is this, I have to now check myself, or I have to be like, is this a setting where I can say that and it's not going to come off like I'm trying to talk about abducting children? Well, they were into technology and the internet. I'm not sure how that is to be associated with their sexual activities. I'm sorry? Do you not think that Epstein and Ghislaine trafficked people?
From the past to affect the future.
No, what I mean when I say that they were on Reddit and 4chan is I mean like they could have been trying to throw people off their trail by spreading conspiracies about some fucking other bullshit. But like making, you know, people like add grains of the truth to conspiracy theories. Could have been. Maybe that like that one dude, that Ron dude, who was supposedly the guy who did QAnon. Maybe he was like trying to get into the Epstein circle and failed, and like Epstein was like, nah, you're not rich enough. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how the mind of a weird human trafficker PDF file works. Maxwell sold one of the first search engines. Damn. So they had deep pockets deep tendrils in the internet.
I know you're probably saying, what in the world? I don't understand. Like, my brain's not there yet. You know what I mean? To completely understand what exactly they're talking about. But the fact that they're saying that this is a possibility to go back to the past to change the future.
What she's talking about is when they were able to confirm that you can send particles like between two spaces that are quantum entangled. I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about. I don't think that we have determined that we can send messages to the past. That seems like a reach. That seems like quite a claim. I mean, I'm down to look it up, I guess. We can send messages to the past. Why are left-wing conspiracies about PDF files, though? Left-wing conspiracies? I mean, they're not usually conspiracies. There are a lot of rich people who happen to be PDF files, and they want the Epstein files released so that they can be held accountable. I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I mean, they've confirmed the files exist. They've confirmed a lot of the stuff in them. You know? I don't know. Human cloning? And I don't think I've ever heard any of my comrades talking about cloning. I think that's a new one to me. Is there like a current clone conspiracy? That sounds really fucking cool, by the way. Just the idea that today in America, in the year of our Lord 2026, that there's a fucking clone conspiracy. I would write a book about it. I would call it the clone conspiracy. Or Clone Conspiracy USA. Yeah, Epstein cloning people to traffic in the desert. What the fuck? Well, no, Dolly the sheep is a goddamn sheep. The only trafficking outfit that would ever make money trafficking sheep would be in Wales. That's right. I know a thing or two. Take that, Wales.
It's pretty amazing. Next, scientists are saying that they're pretty sure they found a portal to the fifth dimension.
I told you, I tried to tell you that she had a wine lunch. It's pretty clear. But it's really mixed since the satanic panic of the 80s and 90s was right-wing. Yeah. I mean, there was like definitely a lot of like church influence when it came to the satanic panic, but it's definitely no less here. I mean, in this day and age, you know, I mean, there's still the churches are still freaking out over Pokemon cards and whatnot, calling shit demonic. Same shit. And like you have entire groups of churches that are talking shit about like video games and movies. K-pop Demon Hunters got like someone was like, oh, K-pop Demon Hunters is super demonic. It has nothing to do with anything Abrahamic. It was all just folklore. It's crazy.
I mean, that's awesome. We've been talking about that. You know, we hear people talk about fourth, fifth dimension, all these different dimensions, and them communicating with being. Guys, it's real. But now, from what I understand...
What is the fifth dimension supposed to be? I thought for a second maybe she was just confused about the whole delayed choice quantum eraser stuff, which can kind of appear retrocausal, but isn't. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the fifth dimension. You're not supposed to be making fun of her. I'm supposed to be making fun of her. You're only allowed to chat amongst yourselves. Only I'm allowed to make fun of the people. But then she said opening portals of the fifth dimension. What is the fifth? So, okay. So we've got, you know, length, width, depth, time. What's the fifth? Is it consciousness? Psyche? Ego?
Understand of what this is that the fifth dimension is like a portal to the dark matter.
I don't think I heard you correctly.
You know what I mean? To completely understand.
I don't know what you mean.
What exactly they're talking about, but the fact that they're saying that this is a possibility.
Okay.
To go back to the past.
Yep. Let's talk about dark matter.
It's pretty amazing.
Okay. Yep.
Next.
Great.
Scientists.
Okay. Scientists are saying
that they're pretty sure they found a portal.
That they found a portal
to the fifth dimension. I mean, that's awesome. We've been talking about that. You know, we hear people talk about fourth, fifth dimension, all these different...
Who are you talking to, casually, that you have a discussion about the fourth and fifth dimensions? Let alone making a portal to one. Is this the rest of your gal group that you have wine lunches with? Have you ever found a portal? If I had, I would have walked through it.
Dimensions and them communicating with being. Guys, it's real.
To get away from this
But now,
reality.
from what I understand of what this is that the fifth dimension is like a portal to the dark matter.
I still don't think that I'm on that level yet. I don't think that I'm on that level of conviction, intoxication, confidence. I'm not on her level yet. What does that mean? The fifth dimension is a portal to the dark matter.
dark matter.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank you, Lord. She's about to explain what dark matter is. Okay.
From my understanding, is pretty vast in the universe.
Okay.
But we can't interact with it.
Oh my fucking God, you fucking goddamn it, shit, mother goddamn shit fuck.
Like stars and humans and all that.
What the fuck does that mean, stars and humans? Are we saying that dark matter is stars and humans?
That just cannot interact with this matter.
Stars and humans cannot interact with it. Aren't there other things in the universe besides stars and humans?
But this bridge.
Okay, but thank the Lord, we're gonna bring it on home.
Right? Fifth dimension.
Okay, yep.
Is that bridge to the dark matter.
To the bridge to the thing that we can't interact with? Neither humans nor stars?
That allows it to go back and forth.
What? Meaning what? Meaning what?
I don't know what to do with that, but...
I don't either! I don't know what to do with that either! You made a video about this! Okay, I think I see where she's coming from. She's probably read the older paper thing that she was talking about proposing a model where an extra spatial dimension, a warped fifth dimension, could help explain dark matter, as in heavy scalar particles act as a portal between ordinary particle physics and the dark matter sector. Cynical, you are just... Oh, you're making my brain melt right now. There's like gas, humans, and stars. Humans produce a lot of that gas. The portal isn't a real thing, it's a metaphor. Okay. We are stardust, we are gold. Badger. What are you fucking talking about, man?
Like the fact that we are saying that there is a fifth dimension, it means that there's much more we don't understand, and much more is out there, and possibly this is bridging our interdimensional beings and how they're interacting with us. Because
oh man,
Three Eye Atlas is back.
No.
So this video is going
I don't want to hear more of you.
Virus type thing popped out, and all of a sudden we have a new year. Starting to receive this information.
Hang on, sorry, I gotta get back to it.
We are saying that there is a fifth dimension.
There we go.
It means that there's much more we don't understand, and much more.
That's where it's all headed. UFO time travelers, abductees. Why is it opening opera? Don't you dare throw up again. I fed you. Oh my God. Cynical why? I'm not gonna read that.
Exhibitions.
No, why are you saving my... I was watching Taskmaster earlier. I love that show, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen Taskmaster, but it's my favorite show. Cynical, I know you and I have talked about that before. Oh no, I think I mentioned on my stream again. Or before.
Or is out there, and possibly this is bridging our interdimensional beings.
Song lyrics. Definitely, they sound like song lyrics. I think The Age of Aquarius is already a song, though. I'm pretty sure.
And how they're interacting with us, because...
Oh, you mean, you don't mean creating, you mean just reciting. Should have a vet check it out if she keeps vomiting. Might be an obstruction or something strange. No, she... every time she's actually really smart, and she has learned to do things that elicit specific responses from me. And one of the things that she does is sometimes when I don't feed her on time, and I know for a fact that she can tell the distance between breakfast and lunch, and if I wait even an hour longer than she's willing to wait, then she will throw up. And it's always just like a little bit of bile, and like that's about it. But like it's like clockwork. And I think obviously it's because, you know, she's a small pup. She doesn't have anything in her tummy. But I also think that it's, you know, probably on purpose. I don't know. I don't think they can do that on purpose. That's what my stomach is like. Yeah, only recently have I started to get because I never used to get like heartburn like way up here and like persistent but like I think that's what acid reflux is, and you feel like that pressure there, and like you got to drink like either a gallon of water or take a omeprazole or whatever that medication is.
In Spielberg's Disclosure Day teaser that everybody's talking about, what if it isn't alien speech at all?
Oh, so maybe the new Spielberg film is him trying to tell us something. That would be, well, the first time that's ever happened. Because why would Spielberg just have knowledge of that?
So stay with me on this one. There's a moment.
Well, I mean, he could have directed the moon landing, so. Although I think the popular notion is that it was Kubrick.
Where the main character, played by Emily Blunt, seems overwhelmed.
Why does this person have... Oh, it looked like they had, like, bruises on their face. E.T. being based on a true story was also popular promotion for it. I do not remember that. Was that a marketing thing? I loved the way that people used to market movies back in the 80s. If you haven't ever seen the stream before, hang on, let me... I have scenes for this, but it's just going to be easier for me to do this wise. And then I will do this and go to properties and do that. That's the room I'm in right now. And that is a wall of VHS and DVD. So if you know shit about like the way that all this stuff was marketed, then I'm into that shit big time. This is all mostly my wife's collection, but we do collect some shit. But I can leave that like that for the rest of the stream. I don't have to adjust it back. Although it is a little off to the side. Zoop. Ha! You need to get some drones. Drones? I guess I do need to get some drones, right? Just for, you know, looking for UFOs and shit. Back in '96 when Independence Day came out, they had a marketing campaign for it, which did like fake news reports on the TV and ships and stuff being revealed over New York. And that, no, I remember that. That was freaky as fuck. Very cool. Very cool marketing campaign. A fellow collector. It's mostly my wife's collection. But I mean, I do have some parts of it, but it is mostly her stuff. Like this, a lot of it is like gifts I've given her, but not a lot of it. Like the VHSs are all hers, but the action figures and the memorabilia. Like we've got some stuff like from actual movies. Like I know I have one of the Vote for Oswald pins from Batman Returns. It's like $240 goddamn dollars. Do you have Con Air? Oh, I'm sure we do somewhere. That isn't something that I think she necessarily wants in her collection, but I think she probably would have collected it at some point. It is mostly like schlocky action and horror stuff, so it's usually themed towards those directions.
Almost overtaken, and suddenly loses normal language.
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today. Let's today is today's
So
okay, so it's like demons then. So she's a demon. VHS Con Air was the most played in the VHS time and rented, huh? So it's like a collector's item, I guess? That would probably go for a lot of money, huh? She's got a couple of valuable ones, but I don't know if they're like sell worthy.
And my thoughts about this is that the reason why our government's afraid to release this information is because of religion. This would probably destroy how we see ourselves.
I mean, I think most people would see that as a plus. But no, I mean, you know, I guess I've kind of been a proponent of editing the Bible. I know that's like controversial among Christians. Like it's not a living document to most people who believe in it. So I get it. But I've always been a big proponent of just editing the Bible. You know? Just change the Bible. Just take the parts out that you don't like. And if you gotta, like, you know, if you're gonna have a crisis of faith because you know that aliens exist, then maybe your faith wasn't that strong in the first place. It's just no, don't Saint Anthony. Dear God, I almost knocked him off my desk. Saint Anthony. You know what I mean? But if the Vatican knew, I mean, wouldn't that be kind of cool? You know, wouldn't the Pope be like into that? Because he seems like he wants to be a cool guy, you know. Bible is already state edited as it was mostly a co-option of religion of the ages. Well, yeah, but I'm speaking within the canon of people who believe in the Bible. I'm not applying my own worldview to it, you know. I'm role playing. Because for me, if I'm speaking as myself, you just don't be religious. You just, if there's a particular dogmatic system of beliefs that forces you to condemn people to hell, in your mind anyway, then I would say just don't be a part of that. If you hate groups of people, then sure, identify with groups that hate certain groups of people. But if you don't, then why do you need to have restrictions on your life just to think that you're leading a good life? You don't have to give value to yourself just by having some arbiter of truth and justice tell you did a good job. Even then, they can't even speak to you. You got to talk to the middleman for the middleman for the middleman. Yeesh. That kind of corporate structure is just not tenable. All right? That's too many links in the chain. And anyone who's run a company would know that that's not sustainable. All right? Got to diversify. There are many Christian sects that got wiped out by the state and called out heretic, etc. And, well, I mean, yeah, pretty much anytime anyone disagrees on even like a simple translation in the Bible, a sect forms. You know? Or rather, a schism occurs and then a sect forms.
I think they should start releasing
but
some of the information.
The point that I'm making, just to summarize, is that no, it would not ruin religion, or it shouldn't ruin religion for anyone whose faith is strong enough to realize that aliens exist. That's like a really dumb point.
Information that we have managed to collect on Mars regarding the face on Mars, which I know for a fact is real.
Widely discredited. The second better resolution photographs came out, we saw that it was just a mound of dirt.
In fact, I have another contact at NASA, JPL, that I haven't mentioned. I can't mention too much about it because he's...
If he's piling this much bullshit onto a lie, I'm afraid I don't think I can believe anything else he's going to say.
Working there.
Okay. Well, as much as you can.
Well, the person that I know is very high.
What about the reptilians? What about the reptilians? They had their chance in the sun world. All right? And then when they lost the great battle of Klishk, they were forced underground. You know this, all right? There are history books. Read one.
Up in NASA. He's not a direct administrator. But they know what's going on. They know it's a face.
Again, widely discredited. Anyone with a powerful enough telescope can see that Mars does not have an actual face on it. They went back to the surface when? you know that the Treaty of Krask is still active and legally binding. So if you see any reptilians, you need to tell them to get back in the hole where they belong. To get back into their goddamn subterranean drilling machines and go back to the fucking the mines of Moria.
They know that it was carved.
All right, sorry, I'm mixing canons here, but you get what I'm saying.
By somebody else other than us. The NASA, JPL, higher-ups and personnel there at JPL, they know for a fact.
Joint Pajama League? I'm not sure what JPL stands for.
In the imaging area, they know for a fact that the face on Mars is real.
Again, widely discredited.
And it was not made by windstorms.
Again, widely discredited.
Or trick of lighting or anything like that.
Nope, yep. Pareidolia played a part in that too.
They know for a fact that the face on Mars was made from an extraterrestrial race that came here to Earth at about 45,000 years
Kerensky of Trinamecti Agony
BC and set up.
There's a face on Mars and a man in the moon. You know, if that man in the moon wanted to, he could capitalize on some prime fucking real estate. Let me tell you, if he was smart, he'd be putting up all sorts of amenities. Is he going to capitalize? Are we going to be going to man-in-the-moon hotels in the future? Only time will tell. And NASA will try to hide it.
Civilization here on Earth and went back and forth from Mars to our planet Earth to give us information. And
like what? Like what? Just fucking like what?
To further the race that they created, which is us.
Okay, you've made a lot of claims. I don't. Where's the proof? That is there any evidence? The Japanese see a rabbit in the moon. Oh, Chang'e. No, that's Chinese. I was gonna say Chang'e usually is hanging out with a rabbit a lot of the time.
It was a shock to
Who's the lady in the moon called in Japanese culture?
the human populace, and I think it's the big reason why NASA and all the governments, especially the United States, are refusing to release this information, because one thing will lead to another, and
one thing leads to another.
Somebody will come to a conclusion that we were created by an extraterrestrial race that came to this solar system and set the planets in their proper order, which they are now in.
Okay, now we're talking about making the planets align? Is he... Her name is Claire. Claire de Lune.
And exploded the gaseous planet that which we call the sun. And thus God said, let there be light.
Oh, for... Is there one wackadoo in the conspiracy circles that isn't a fucking Bible thumper? Like, is there any... Well, no, I guess because smart people aren't really conspiracy theorists. I get it. Fuck, man. I just want one smart person who is just, like, maybe misguided. You know, because then like they'd give me like something I can chew on, you know, some kind of like, I don't know, something with legs, you know, like if I heard, because I read an article recently about all of the like the underground shit that's happening, like in the crust, like there's just all these like caverns and shit like that, all that shit's like unexplored, liquid rock, you know, underground oceans and shit, and to me, like I can conceive of there being a hollow earth, you know, I can conceive of there being a hollow earth, like that makes sense to me, but it's just the temperature and pressure are just so hot down there that it's just not possible. But, you know, like, if someone smarter than me was to present a case for Hollow Earth that made sense, then I think I'd be like, yeah, I'm on board. I want to hear more about it. But, like, when people are being disingenuous or lying or fooled into spreading misinformation, then, like, it's hard to, like, I guess not empathize. It's not that it's makes it hard for me to be on the same page as them or to consider what they're saying any more legitimate than just every other wackadoo. You know what I mean? Like, I want to believe these guys because, like Mulder, I want to believe. And it's also a fact that some conspiracy theories are true. Well, definitionally, I would say that there's a bit of a difference between conspiracy and conspiracy theory. I think conspiracy theories are just not, like, proven, and then conspiracies are. Like, a conspiracy is like an actual crime. A conspiracy is something that you can actually, like, tangibly observe and, like, you know what I mean? Like, you can interact with that. But conspiracy theories are all just based on... I'm not sure... I am not saying that what it is. I'm just saying that that's my understanding of it. Question, what conspiracies do you believe in? You're gonna have to rattle some off. I off the top of my head, I can't really remember. Like, I know that we went to the moon. Like, that is something that I truly believe in my heart that we did. I know that we've been to space. I've been to Florida when I've seen, like, rocket tests and shit like that. I don't believe there's a firmament, like, preventing people from going to space. I don't believe the Earth is flat. I believe in evolution. That's a pretty still hotly, for some reason, still hotly debated topic. I don't know what conspiracies are there other than that. Bigfoot. I think that we would have found proof by now. Aliens, I think that if they exist, they're probably not from outer space. They're probably from, either time travelers or interdimensional. I feel like they would have had some way to communicate with us by now, or the Dark Forest theories pop. Whatever. The point is, aliens, I want to believe in. I just think that it's weird that we would be the only living conscious things in the universe with technology. I don't know. What else is there? You have to help me out here.
This would be shocking to everybody here on Earth. This is what they're afraid of releasing, and that's my final conclusion regarding this investigation and who the aliens are. I really feel that the aliens that were on the planet Mars came here and set up our civilization as we now know it, and they created these gray extraterrestrial aliens to watch over our planet.
What? Okay, now you're getting too complicated. I don't think that it's great for any ancient alien believer to believe in what they believe in, because I feel like they I don't know. I think that they're not giving humanity enough credit. Like, we built the pyramids. You know, we're the ones that put all the rocks into place. Like, I feel like you're not giving humans enough credit for their achievements. And I feel like creating a race, like saying that there's an alien race that then created another alien race to then put us into existence, like, I don't understand that. I don't think that that's... I think that that's, like, making it too complicated for no reason. Answer evolution? What's the question that you're trying to ask? Algorithmic price fixing, rent coordination by using software like RealPage, etc. There's antitrust action going on about this right now, but it was a conspiracy theory first. Well, that's one I would have believed in, probably. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. That's happening right now. Probably because natural selection doesn't exist, but it really doesn't. What? Moon landing. I believe that we landed on the moon, yeah. There are telescopes powerful enough to see the landing site. I believe there are pictures.
To make sure we don't blow up their career.
Because natural selection doesn't exist, which it really doesn't. I mean, okay, then how did... you think that we got here by just poofing into existence? New World Order. Things like the Majestic 12 and Bohemian Grove, as shitty as Alex Jones is, was proven to be real. Not the Majestic 12, but Bohemian Grove was proven to be real. He was one of the proponents of that. He was one of the first guys to ever do that. But I believe that there are powerful people who are behind a lot of the big decisions that have happened regarding foreign policy and the direction of governments all around the world. I think that's a fair conspiracy theory to believe in. And I don't think that's one that we're ever going to definitively find out other than through the fucking release of the Epstein files unredacted. KGB Gate. I don't know what that is. Describe it in a few words for me.
Alone, yes, it's confronting. I, too, have had a lot of trouble believing it.
Dave Grush, a name that may soon be etched in the annals of history.
I certainly hope not. He's kind of a scammer. Worry about Harper's IDU. You're saying things I don't know about. I don't know what KGB Gate is, and I don't know what Harper's IDU is. Allegedly. Allegedly what? No, I hit the function button. I didn't mean to do that.
Emerged from the shadows of top-secret corridors to unveil a truth hidden for over 8 decades.
4 different species, at least, have been visiting this planet for thousands of years. We have a long history of UFOs, and of course, there's been a lot...
Okay, simply proving that UFOs are real doesn't mean any of the claims that people have made about them over the years are real, or are true. That would be a crazy reach. Just because you're saying, like, we can see these things on film, you know, we can like observe that if we were seeing them with our own eyes, if they landed in front of us, we'd be like, oh, holy shit, okay, UFOs are real. We wouldn't be like, oh shit, okay, holy shit, man, like, UFOs are real, so they must all be greys, or reptilians, or Anunnaki, or whatever the fuck people think they are, and then they must be fucking like farting phosphorus clouds, and like, you don't just make a whole bunch of assumptions about something that you've only just learned exists. Just because we know that UFOs exist does not mean that anything that we've said about UFOs in the past is now all of a sudden true. All of a sudden.
More activity since we invented the atomic bomb.
What are the chances it's a foreign military versus the chances that it's actual alien?
We see no evidence that's from a foreign government. None of the instances...
I mean... I think... So when they were first doing like the Blackbird tests, remember like when people thought that was all like a big UFO thing? And eventually it came out that it was the Blackbird. Like that's, you know, it was an experimental aircraft. Nowadays, in our age of technology, it's going to be pretty hard for people to hide things flying around in the fucking air. And while I do think, because of like Project Blue Book, while I do think that it is possible for a government to cover things up, I don't think that it's happening to the scale that people think it is. You may like through a biosinosis has nothing to do with natural selection existing or not. You mean like through a I don't know what that... Abiogenesis. Ex-Canadian PM who is head of the International Democratic Union that spends its time trying to get right-wing parties elected worldwide. Who is head of the International Democratic Union that spends its time trying to get right-wing parties elected worldwide. I don't know that I know much about that, but, you know, in our government, there's plenty of PACs that push people towards power, and so it wouldn't be outside the realm of belief for me to assume that somebody might be doing that, I don't know, in other countries. And blame the DOJ for the file has not been released. Well, I blame everyone in the administration. Nobody is doing enough to get that file released. It's not just the DOJ, it's everybody. There are people on both the left and right who are mentioned in the files. There are people who both the left and right capitulate to who are on the files. It seems to me, if I was a person on either the left or right in government and was maybe either mentioned myself or one of my friends was, I would want that shit to not ever come out. And so I would aid in delaying it as much as possible, even if it meant betraying my own party or my own values. I mean, you know, I'm not in government and I wouldn't do that because I'm not a shitty person, but if I was that type of person, then I would absolutely want to hide it. Whether I was on the left or right, doesn't matter. Rich people who've been trafficking children are not going to care whether the people accusing them are trying to get them off the left or the right side of the aisle. They're going to be afraid that they're going to put them in jail, which they should be, rightly so.
The 144 incidents they identified could be...
And, Reyes, I don't know what the fuck... I'm not a scientist. I don't claim to know how evolution works. I just know that I believe in it more than suddenly poofing into existence. Someone, in a video that I watched not too long ago, described evolution pretty fucking clearly, and if I find that video, we can cover it. But, it's just not. I'm sorry. Imagining that God put us here is insane.
Explained by U.S. classified research programs. So that leaves you wondering then what hypothesis best fits the facts. And frankly, the alien hypothesis fits the fact.
They've been seeing strange lights in the sky, flying very fast. He said he had to go because one of his guards was injured. Our missiles shut down. We had 10 missiles under our control, and all 10 of them went no-go.
I've been waiting for almost 50 years for someone to listen to my testimony in the government. He said...
I mean, these are just people who are expressing their opinions about potential disclosure.
Well, we are now. Into that frame flew another object. Flew up to the dummy warhead, shot a beam of light at it, went around like this to the top of the warhead, shot a beam of light down.
Who created the universe? Well, I don't care. Like, that's not something that I ever really ask myself. But if I was to imagine who created the universe, I would imagine that it, I don't know, probably came together from whatever form of elements might have existed before the presence of the universe. Like, you know, elements of hydrogen. And, what else? What else was present at the beginning of the universe? Hydrogen and carbon? Was it carbon? No, carbon wouldn't have been... Yeah, carbon? No. Some pilots, sensors, satellites, civilians, and military systems have observed things that were not immediately identified. Some of those turn out to be things like balloons, drones, or other aircraft, birds, artifacts of camera sensors, optical effects, weather, and bad range estimates, and yes, occasionally classified technology developed by humans. Nothing has ever shown any evidence of being extraterrestrial. Couldn't have said it better myself, cynical. Could not have said it better myself.
Down at it, proceeded out there in front of it, 8,000 miles opera. Boom, shot another beam of light at it, and went down like this and shot another beam of light at it, and then zipped out of the frame faster than it had come in. He said, then what was that? And I said...
So that's just an artist rendition. That's not actually footage of it happening.
It looks to me like we got a UFO. He said, you are never to say that again. As far as you're concerned, Lieutenant Jacobs, it never happened.
We stand on the brink of a revelation so profound it threatens to redefine our existence, a catalyst for a more transparent era, where secrets give way to openness, and where knowledge is shared for the advancement of all humankind. It challenges us to rethink our place in the universe.
Well, no, didn't you hear it's going to destroy religion? Didn't you hear what that other guy said? The world's religions are going to collapse. People are going to go into a panic. There's going to be pandemonium in the streets. There's going to be screaming and rending of clothes. We're all going to die!
Anna Paulina Luna just said on a recent Newsmax segment.
A real gem of a woman, let me tell you.
And the reason she said it might get your attention. Check this out and let's talk.
Quote, non-human life forms that could be interdimensional beings who are visiting us. Can you just explain more to people at home what that might mean?
That I would believe. If it was like interdimensional entities that are trying to, like, reach out And like maybe they're trying to probe the reaches of their known universe. Maybe they're trying to explore their existence and find out if they're alone, and they, you know, somehow end up, I don't know, like what does interdimensional necessarily mean in terms of talking about aliens? Like, are we talking about, because dimensions in terms of space are really just directions, like it's just measurements of space. So like X, Y, Z, all that's just spatial terminology. So like, you know, I don't know if like ending or like entering a different dimension means what they think it means. You know what I mean? The Xenu people will be like, I told you so. Yeah, maybe. You know, I've got some midichlorians that need to be expressed. Is it midichlorians? No, thetans, right? If aliens showed up, it wouldn't end religion. It would just be more people for the evangelists to try and convert. Yeah, religion's going to spread regardless of who's the figurehead, and if Christianity has its way, it'll be God. What about Biden's administration? In terms of what? Badger, good. Okay. She's stable. Oh, the stream? Was the stream unstable again?
Yeah, so that's definitely a mouthful, but that is directly based on information that we've received.
That's what she said. That is literally what she said just now. That's what she said. This person, that is what she said.
From witnesses, also information that we have obtained and witnessed via our investigations. There's some stuff that
articles that we've obtained and witnessed?
I can't disclose of what I have immediately seen in some of these skips, but what I will tell you is this is not just some crazy conspiracy.
Was any of it the Epstein files? Was any of it the Epstein files?
Theory. Obviously, there's been massive reporting, not just in the United States, but around the world.
Lauren Boebert was physically shook after she read them.
And this is something that I think everyone kind of, you know, has always had some curiosity about. We're just simply asking the questions.
Yeah, and it feels like
it's always just asking questions. We're always just asking questions.
We're building towards some sort of disclosure.
I just want to know why you won't put me in a secret, secluded space where I can look at classified documents. I just don't get that. Why?
So let's break that down a little bit on what she just confirmed. So Luna said Congress has received testimony and evidence involving non-human life forms and possibly interdimensional phenomena. We've heard that. And she emphasized that this is
I mean, she more or less said a sizzle line to a reporter, but go on.
Based on classified things that she has personally been a part of. She even...
looking at documents. That's what she's been a part of, is looking at documents.
Been added that's
not any of the actual stuff regarding aliens. So take it down a notch.
Certain things she's seen can't be discussed publicly, which are the things that really...
Which is what people always say. Well, I'm under NDA. Well, I don't know. I'd probably get assassinated if I tried.
Really pique my interest, of course. But that's what Congresswoman Anna Paulino...
Oh, well, I see. You didn't have an ending to your video. You just kind of trailed off. Okay. And now here we get another view. We're shifting towards the religious. We didn't have too much religion before, but now we're kind of shifting a little bit further into some more religious themes regarding this disclosure. Disclosure? There's a book that came out a couple years ago that was pretty cool about aliens showing up. They landed on the Vatican, spoke Latin, and revealed themselves to be Catholic. I think you may have described this to me, or I may have read an article about it. Sounds familiar. But let's hear what God's going to do about this.
It is Disclosure Day.
She did the same thing I did. Same exact thing.
Tomorrow,
Twinsies.
Saturday, May 8th. The Gen X in me is just bubbling, but the Christian in me knows what's going on. Disclosure Day, my hind end. This is the big deception. This is what we've been...
Okay, she did it twice. It's still disclosure. And I when I misspoke, I tried to make it right. I carried on. I kept calm and I carried on.
And wait, no. If you people that do not know Jesus like I know Jesus don't see...
The fuck did you just say, you people?
Biblical prophecy happening in front of your eyes every day. You turn on the news every week, every month. We keep telling you and telling you.
Go off, Queen, but there's like, thousands upon millions of Christians who will probably disagree with what you're saying. So it's not my fault that you guys don't agree with each other. It's your guys' fault.
The time is now. We are living in the last seconds before.
The time now. The place, my office. The time, a few seconds later than now. Well, now is relative. It's now is now. And 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 now is now. That could go on forever.
Christ returns. And now, I'm so... I am just tickled pink, excited. I'm not worried. I'm not a bit. I just cannot wait to see what our...
Why are all these crazy rants in cars? Because their families can't stand them, cynical. Because nobody wants to be around them. The only place they can seek refuge is their car. Have you ever met a time traveler? Not that I know of. Might have access